Good evening, everyone. I apologize. I am late, just like some of our other friends. Didn't mean to be late. Was in a board meeting. Ran late because we were not agreeing on something in the beginning. So apologize to everybody, keeping you waiting. And of course, I don't know how to set up a stream after a month and a half, and I forgot to schedule it for 8. That's why it came on at like 6:41. So that was my bad. Disclaimer, I am not an investment professional. I am not registered with any governing bodies. Everything I say is my own opinion. If there's anyone who comes on, whatever they say is their own opinions. And please keep in mind, we just do a lot of research. We have no idea what's going to happen. So, a lot of stuff happened today. Going to give you a very quick summary, but before we do, we got some interesting characters backstage we're going to bring on. So first, Maddie Capital. Whoa. You changed the camera angle.
You're fucking late, Steven.
It's not a punching bag. What's going on here?
You're fucking late.
I am late. I know.
You complained for 5 minutes about you need me to get on stream, and no,
I just said
everyone
you're not
wants
going
to see you.
So come on,
and then you waste my time. No, I'm just kidding. How are you doing, brother? What is that? What kind of delectable treat we got?
Did you go to Wingstop?
No, this is Whataburger.
Oh, as I was going to say, Wingstop is phenomenal.
I get the Whata wings.
Okay.
They give you like 8 or 9 little wings in a ranch, and then I just get a nice little DC, and that's dinner these days.
All right. And we got another character backstage, Dougie Dallas.
Hot Doug.
How's it going, everybody?
What's it like to be the future of rocketry?
It's a lot of fun. Getting to work with the next generation.
All right. Well,
actually, had a bit of a faux pas. I learned this morning. I volunteered to go work at a week-long event for university rocketry, and that's the same weekend that I have my condo at the beach.
I'll if you need somebody to take over the condo for the week, I'll
Matt's right there for you.
Well, that's why you're my friend, Matt. Appreciate it.
Anything for you, man.
All right.
How are we doing tonight, fellas? We're only down 5 figures today instead of 6. How are we feeling? Like, I can take these days.
Got a lot of stuff to go over today. I mean, we started the day, people woke up, freaked out. They couldn't get on X and other websites because of Cloudflare. And Amazon and Microsoft are under a Europe probe for cloud computing. And Microsoft and Amazon received downgrades today. Then we have some commentary out of some Fed members, some information about Gemini, got Nvidia tomorrow, got a whole lot of stuff. So why don't we start with Amazon and Microsoft? Did you see the downgrades?
No, it's all gone to zero, Steve.
Let's hope not, Matt. Let's hope not.
Yeah, I saw the downgrades, and I have 4 words.
Say it. I think I know what it is. Just say it.
I don't fucking care.
Knew it. Love it. Maddie, what do you have to say?
About what?
The downgrades.
You think I care about downgrades?
I've never heard of this company, Rothschild and Co.'s Redburn. I never heard of this
Rothschild or Rockchild?
Rothschild and Co.
You've never heard of the Rothschilds?
I've heard of them, but I've never heard of this company. I don't know.
It's gone to zero, Steve. All of it.
It's all going to zero, Matt.
I don't know. It's still green. Like Amazon's still green in my portfolio, so I don't know what to tell you. I mean,
Yeah, I'm not putting too much stock in this. There's so much backlog. I don't know where they come up with these numbers. I was more interested in the Fed commentary. I got some notes about it.
I
Mike,
didn't see this. I've been in meetings all day.
what happened, Doug?
I didn't see this bit. I've been in meetings all day.
So Michael Barr warned against weakening banking supervision, arguing that efforts to dilute supervisory tools and ratings could create hidden vulnerabilities that only show up in the next crisis. And then Richmond Fed President Tom Barkin said that the Fed is operating with limited data, but he believes inflation is still above the 2% target. There is soft but not collapsing job growth with low layoffs but weaker hiring. Kind of a contradiction there. And mixed real world conditions, AI data center, energy, and high end consumers are strong, while farmers, real estate, and lower income exposed sectors struggle. So those were my notes from their speeches today. I got to tell you, it makes it sound like they're going to do just nothing at the next December meeting. And that scares the crap out of me.
Oh, yeah, they were always going to do nothing.
Don't break my heart, Doug.
I'm sorry. Like I love seeing my numbers go up too when people think there's going to be a cut, but I knew there wasn't going to be. It's vindictive, but that's what they're doing.
Matt, do you think we're going to get a cut? Or do you think we're staying even keel?
I think there's going to be a cut, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I don't know anything, Steve. Regardless, I'm going to keep buying. So,
right. So CME Group is it's a 50-50 right now. 48.9% we get a cut, 51.1% that they keep rates even.
No, rates are even. And they're going to use the shutdown and the lack of data as a reason to do that. Because so when they are working against the administration, they're being data dependent. Unless they can head them off at the pass and be negative tariffs or whatever else, then they're going to be forward looking. But I used to have a lot more faith in that institution than I do now.
I'm in agreement with you, Doug. I think that they are unfortunately going to hold rates where they are. I'm really not happy about that. And Cloudflare has so much of the internet in its infrastructure that huge institutions such as X and ChatGPT were disrupted this morning. I am now worried that, and we saw what happened last time something like this happened, members of Congress called for the breakup of these big companies, and I am worried that we're going to start getting that again. Have you guys seen anything come out with Cloudflare? Do you have any take on that?
What's your take, Stephen?
Other than not being able to use it this morning, I mean, look, these big companies, so they scale. That was the whole point of their business. Was we want to do something very simple that we can repeat and deliver to everybody on the planet. And now we want to punish them for that. That was their whole premise. That's the strength of the U.S. economy, is that all this stuff runs through us. You want to break it up and chop it up and you have little tiny pieces and everybody does the same thing multiple times. That's inefficient.
Matt, any thoughts?
What's the question?
So when Amazon had the hiccup last quarter, we had several members of Congress come out and say that maybe we should break these companies up. Maybe they've gotten too big and we shouldn't be relying on these companies to control so much of the cloud services. And now with Cloudflare being down this morning and a lot of stuff not working, are we worried that this is going to be another headline in the news cycle? where they're calling for antitrust and for these big companies to be broken up.
I mean, they can call for whatever they want. I think they're just trying to appease to their voters, right? They want big. Oh yeah, these companies are too big. They're making too much money. They want them to be. They want to be in the spotlight of they're doing something, right? They're trying to make some change. They're working on behalf of the people. They don't give a shit. At the end of the day, nothing's going to happen. I'd like to see them try to take down like an Amazon or something like that. The economy would falter.
Well, I agree with you on that. I think that we are going to see it in the headlines. I don't think it's going to matter, and I don't think anybody's getting broken up. I don't think that anybody can prove Amazon is a monopoly. Simple thought experiment here. E-commerce competes with Walmart and Costco and Target. So they're not a monopoly on that area. Cloud services competes with Microsoft Azure, Google Cloud, et cetera, not monopoly there. And then Prime membership with the video and books and everything, they compete against Netflix, Spotify, everybody else. I don't think they're getting broken up. I think this will be a nothing burger over the next week. It'll probably go away. So I'm not worried about that.
I think they're just mad because they feel like the hyperscalers and big tech switch sides on them. And now they want revenge.
Could be. We'll see what
But
happens.
look, that's going to flip again as soon as that particular thing flips next time too. That cohort's not going to be caught off sides.
And as something that went under the radar in the legal world, one of my favorite companies, Meta Platforms, won a key antitrust case versus the FTC today over alleged social networking monopoly. They still closed down for the day, but that was a big one.
Yeah. Look what happened when Google got the monkey off their back.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. That was a turning point for shares of Google.
It took a couple of weeks, a month or so, right?
So did you guys see anything with Anthropic today?
Going to zero.
Didn't I see that their CEO did a 60 Minutes or something? I didn't watch it because I know what he's going to talk about.
Yeah, so they're going to spend $30 billion in compute through Nvidia and Microsoft, and they are now valued at $350 billion, following a latest investment deal with both Microsoft and Nvidia. Would have been nice if Amazon just freaking acquired them in the beginning.
Is that on the table? I don't remember that.
Well, didn't Amazon originally invest in them? Did a seed investment into them?
I don't remember.
You're on mute, Matt.
I'm not.
Oh,
yeah, I don't remember.
All right, I have two videos. Let's watch these. I have not seen them yet. Hold on. I don't think I freaking shared the sound. God damn it. I always do it. I always freaking do it.
Widespread set of disruptions just before 7 a.m., blocking access to sites including Truth Social, Shopify, Indeed, and even New Jersey Transit. Now, Cloudflare helps route and protect roughly 20% of global internet traffic. So even if a site itself isn't down, users may still be blocked from reaching it because Cloudflare serves as a kind of air traffic control for the web. And when it breaks, the ripple effects can hit everywhere. Now, that's different from an outage at Amazon or Microsoft, where a specific cloud platform or app goes dark. Instead, Cloudflare is more foundational, embedded deep in the plumbing of the internet. Now, one of the companies caught up in the chaos this morning was Anthropic, and we're learning more about that three-way deal between Anthropic, Microsoft, and Nvidia. According to a source familiar, Microsoft and Nvidia are committing to invest up to $5 billion and $10 billion, respectively, into the AI startup at a revised valuation of $350 billion. That is a sharp, bounce upward from the $183 billion funding round it just closed. Guys?
Well, that's big news. So the valuation jumps to 350 on this. That was the answer to your question.
It was. Wow.
Yeah.
That is big news. I mean, now that's approaching, Mac. We're talking half a trillion in OpenAI based on where employees recently sold stock. They go from 183 billion to 350 billion on this new investment from Nvidia and Microsoft, is what you're saying. So, almost basically a double.
Precisely, putting it within striking range of OpenAI's $500 billion valuation. And frankly, they need it. Last week, they just signed a deal for $50 billion to do first-party compute, building their own infrastructure in Texas and New York. That's on top of the tens of billions that they just committed to Google Cloud. They've got deals with AWS, and now we're adding $30 billion to Microsoft Azure. And keep in mind, their run rate for the year is around $7 billion, and they're not profitable yet.
Right. 7 billion is where their run rate is on revenues versus the 20 billion that we heard from Sam Altman at OpenAI.
But there were reports that it would be profitable faster.
Yes, because I guess they're doing enterprise work that may have a higher margin,
That's exactly it. And the Wall Street Journal saw internal documents that indicated that they would flip profitable by 2028, a couple years ahead of OpenAI.
Kind of interesting, given Modi's appearance on 60 Minutes on Sunday.
Yes.
Just optically, Mac, I mean, you can sense that Anthropic kind of senses they might be able to close some white space in terms of who's considered the tip of the spear.
Oh, precisely. And so much of what we've seen in the last few weeks from Anthropic has been focused on these cloud compute contracts. But we haven't, until last week, seen them commit to doing this first-party infrastructure build-out, which is very similar to what we've seen from OpenAI, looking to get into the hyperscaler race themselves. I mean, $50 billion, that's, it was only just a couple weeks ago that Google committed to a $93 billion annual CapEx spend. So that's putting them in the range of the hyperscalers.
The numbers are just
Staggering,
extraordinary, and the fact that this is a private company that just had its value go up from 183 to 350 billion dollars.
And how long? When was the 183? It
wasn't very long ago.
It was just September that they closed that round.
Yeah.
It's moving fast, and that was a tripling from I think earlier in the year in March. Astronomical rises. Thank you for bringing us.
All right, Dougie, let's start with you. How do you feel about what we just saw?
Well, I'm a little sick because I missed out. I had an opportunity to get in at the last round, so missed that. But at the same time, look, there's got to be a cap on how big these companies get and remain private. This is just not fair to the average American because of the accredited investor rules. You've heard Jason Calacanis on his pod talk about having, some kind of test or something where you can get without a lot of extra work, you can take a test and get a license from the government to say, I'm an accredited investor. I don't need, $200,000 a year income or $2 million, not including my home, to be able to invest in some of these things. And maybe I'm sure there's a system, but right now we are seeing all this explosive growth, and it is going to the people at the top. And it is shutting out the people in the middle and in the bottom. Even in the upper middle, they're still not accredited investors and can't get in. And I think the average person sees numbers like this, and then they look at, POTUS signing deals with the Saudis and stuff, and they're saying, well, where was the great populist swelling that I was expecting that was going to, help me out? All I see is all the money going to where all the money already is. So, from a technology and business standpoint, it's super interesting. It feels like it's more circular-ish still, but man, the worst part to me is that they're just leaving the average person behind to have so their best opportunity is try to invest in picks and shovels, try to get in on Caterpillar or on a natural gas company or something like that, who's going to provide things to these companies that are the ones breaking in all the real cash.
Maddie, how do you feel about this video?
This feels very, very reminiscent of 2021, 2022 to an extent. I'm not saying this is, and this is something I've been kind of talking about for a couple months now. Like, I don't think it's going to be this year. Obviously, 2025 is almost over. I don't think it's going to be a lot of 26 either. But comparable to kind of what happened with Amazon, right? They just kept increasing capital expenditure until the point where either the build out was just too fast, and then next thing you know, they had all these needs for efficiency. Margins started skyrocketing downwards, etc. This feels very reminiscent. And Doug said something very comparable when we had lunch the other day. It's like you're talking about, at this point, trillions of dollars being spent on this infrastructure. Where are all these things being built? Like, yeah, I guarantee that there's going to be some built, but like you can't just hand over $100 billion to a company in a single year. So one of two things is either going to happen. It's either going to be that they're getting charged out the ass for these data centers that are being probably uppriced by 500 to 600 times, or not 600 times, sorry, 500 to 600% comparatively to their predecessor data centers. Or, you know, a lot of this capital is eventually just sitting in an escrow account. It's probably going to be released back, or the companies that they're investing in aren't going to actually fulfill, and the efficiencies that they think that they're going to get aren't actually what's going to be showing up. The returns aren't going to be nearly as good, and we'll end up in a spot like we did in 2022, 2023, where people are actually pulling back on capital expenditure due to the hangover of COVID. I don't know. I will be, you know, I'll definitely eat my hat if I, you know, by 2028 there's not some sort of event like that. But I feel very confident that there's going to be some sort of reset where people are like, okay, we either can't keep investing at this pace, and or there's just not the ability for people to be investing this quickly, right? It's more about investing through the cycle than trying to get through the door. I think what's happening right now, and I'll give it back to you guys, is I think that they know that this is push your chips to the table and or just get screwed. And you need to have some sort of infrastructure being built. You can't just be left behind. You can't be slow. But I think that everyone is in the realization that there's likelihood that whatever you do spend, you're not going to get the efficiency that I think a lot of people are actually thinking that they're going to get, and the returns that they actually think they're going to get. But that doesn't mean you can't invest at all, because obviously you're going to be left behind. So it's an interesting scenario, and I think you have these companies that have the cash flow to be able to do it right now. But I feel like in 3 to 4 years' time, it's going to catch up with them.
Yeah, I got a couple of issues. One, the fact that their valuation basically increased 90% over the past 2 months is crazy. The fact that their run rate is $7 billion on revenue and they're not profitable and they now have a $350 billion valuation is crazy. I dislike the accredited investor rules, because even as an accredited investor, most of the time you can't get shares, because these companies are only getting shares from employees or whatever the funding rounds are. And I remember when I was looking into SpaceX, and looking back on it, I should have bought SpaceX shares, but the company that I was trying to get them from, they wanted, if they went public, I think it was 15 or 20% of the overall nut. It was crazy, and I just didn't want to do it. But the fact that you can go to a casino and lose all of your money, yet people are being barred out from making an investment with their own capital because they're not accredited, is freaking crazy. Because I don't see anybody protecting Americans from spending their money on lotto tickets or going to the casino or taking on bad loans. But they just so happen want to protect people from investing in private companies. It's the most ridiculous thing, and that rule needs to go. And there needs to be a public and private market. None of this third-party bullshit with these companies that take huge VIGs if a company goes public. Just public market, private market, period.
Yeah, and then at some point, I don't know how you do this because the libertarian in me says it's not fair, but at some point you can't allow companies that are significantly larger than half the companies in the S&P 500 to be remaining private. That all of these other companies are laundering their cash through.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy that OpenAI could end up being a $1 trillion company by the time it goes public. And eventually it's probably going to have to go public and tap the equity market.
Yeah, and at that point, I would say that's the top of the bubble, because they've already collected all the money from all the private investors in the world, and all that's left is the retail public, because they've already got all the money from the hedge funds and every last cent that like Altimeter and Fund Friends will give them.
Maddie, what do you think about this?
I thought I gave my opinions.
No, you did. I'm just wondering, like, it's just, do you think there should be an accredited investor test?
100%.
You do?
100%.
Okay.
So let me give an opinion on this one. So if you really want my opinion, I
do.
I invested in something that the people think is very scammy, and I've been actually doing rather well in it. I invested in something called Cardone Capital, and it's a real estate fund. So they offered it. So they never had any issues with any previous investors or anything like that. The day that they announced that they were going to have a non-liquid investment, right? You're talking about private real estate investment trusts now available to individual investors like me. I would not have been able to get into it if I was an individual investor. But immediately after this fund gets released to individual investors, you have people that don't know how to manage money that throw in, let's say, $1,000, and next thing you know, they're saying, "Oh my God, what do you mean it's illiquid? What do you mean I can't get my money back immediately?" It's like you signed the paperwork. Like you literally, like if you read the paperwork, it says it's an illiquid investment, as if you're buying a home, right? You can't just say, "I want my money back today." In order to get that money back, you'd have to sell the property. But you have thousands of other investors involved in this property. You can't just liquidate it because one guy wants his money back. And so you have these people that don't understand what it means when you sign a contract, what the hell that actually means. And so to me, you have a lot of people like that in the stock market today. You have a lot of people like that in your chat. No offense, but it's the truth, where we've seen over the past couple of days, they just FOMO into things without the realization of the consequence and risk of what it is. So I think it's easy for us, people like us that have been in the markets for over a decade and have the ability and the maturity of how to invest and potentially think about before we click and actually buy something, versus some of these people that have yet to have some sort of education where their money's gone through some sort of turmoil. So there needs to be some sort of barrier. Does it need to be 200,000 a day? Or sorry, 200,000 a year? Does it need to be over $1 million or 1.5 million, whatever it is these days? That I can't answer you. But I do think that there needs to be some sort of competency test for people to be able to invest in some of these things, because who's to say that somebody invested in Anthropic and like just put all their money into it and ended up over leveraging before they're able to get their money out, and they might still be sitting there, even though the valuation of that has gone up by an extreme amount. They might be sitting there literally eating peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and living in a box because they don't know how to manage their own money. I know that's an extreme case, but I definitely think that there needs to be something, because I've seen examples where people unfortunately get sued and lose. Like that person ended up spending more money on the lawsuit to try to sue Grant Cardone to get his money back than he actually had invested in the entire investment at all. So it goes to show you, like, sometimes, we're not dealing with the most, not everyone's the sharpest tool in the box. So you need to have some sort of barrier. And I know that seems really elitist and shit like that, but I anticipate you've probably have also had comparable experiences as well in the past. It's very simple to sit there and be like, oh, this is bullshit. It's elitist to have an accredited investor thing. It's another thing in reality to immediately think that everybody and anybody should be able to invest in private companies, because people as a whole are just unable to appropriately evaluate risk.
Dougie, what do you think to what Matt said?
I concur nearly 100%. That an exam to be an accredited investor ought to be about as difficult as an advanced placement exam coming out of high school. Most people would not pass it, and I'm fine with that. Accredited investors, I probably couldn't pass it, an exam like that right now, but I've done well enough that I can also be illiquid with a good portion of my funds, and I know what that means for a certain period of time. So the more stacks you're sitting on, the less it affects you if you're not liquid per se, or you could borrow against it. I mean, there's other ways to gain liquidity. But yeah, there ought to be something that we have that allows people to gain access to those things. And that was one of the great promises of crypto too, is, hey, this is open to everybody, and the government's too stupid to regulate it. I put in the private chat a link to a YouTube video. I don't know if you want to play it or not. Maybe you copy and paste it into the main chat for people to take a look at. But I think that's the reason that accredited investors status exists.
And just because you have $1 million or $2 million doesn't mean you have the capability to.
Right. It's the scene from It's a Wonderful Life.
No, I'm linking it right here.
Where the average folks start running on the bank, and then when they want their money out, and George Bailey says, well, file the paperwork and you get your money in 60 days. And they're like, no, I want my money now. And he says, well, your money got used to build his house and her house. So you can't all take all your money out at the same time. So, and that was from what, the 20s. So since then, that whole regulation got built. And I think that's a prime example why, because the average person doesn't even know how to use a credit card.
Now, I guess I'm on the other side of this a little bit, only because nobody's stopping anybody from gambling away their money. I do think that you could make the private markets liquid with setting up an actual exchange for private companies. But at the same time, how is that any different than the public market?
Well, isn't that what Robinhood's doing by tokenization of the private markets anyway?
I mean, that's what they say, but I want to actually see how it's going to work and if we're actually going to get access to buy private companies through it.
It would be amazing.
It'll be interesting. So tomorrow's a really big day. If Nvidia does not crush, who the hell knows what's going to happen? I want to watch this video from Microsoft about the Anthropic Nvidia partnership. Then let's give our predictions on Nvidia. So hold on. I'm not going to make the same mistake. I am making sure that I share it with sound.
Yeah, I'm joined here at the Ignite conference in San Francisco from Microsoft's Ignite conference with commercial CEO Judson Althoff. Thanks for joining us. Let's start right with this Anthropic deal that is the top of everyone's mind here. And watching your keynote, one of the things I picked up on was this kind of expansion of the platform into other areas, including potential competitors and things like that. Anthropic is one of those, and you're investing in Anthropic. How much of this deal was about getting access to their technology to run it on Azure? And how much of it do you see now that this deal with OpenAI has been renewed as kind of, hey, Sam Altman, you don't hold all the cards here. We can spread some of the money around as well. How do you think of that deal?
Thanks for being here, Steve, at Microsoft Ignite. We're thrilled to have you here and thrilled to be able to have you cover all of our announcements. Look, the Anthropic partnership is critical for us and very, very strategic because our customers are demanding model diversity in all of their scenarios. To us today, as we build out more and more robust AI applications and solutions, you see multiple models show up in a single scenario because it's about the right model for the right solution at the right price point in the right scenario and the right level of quality and fine tuning. So the partnership we have with Anthropic allows us to bring some balance into the models that we provide. We've already supported over 11,000 models in Microsoft Foundry. Now this is a big anchor tenant for us as well to serve up to customers.
And we're going to start seeing this bleed into more Microsoft products, the Anthropic models. We already had a previous partnership with them. Now that's going to presumably grow and expand.
Yeah, and it's fantastic. In fact, if you use Microsoft Researcher today, you can use it with GTP5 and you can use it with Claude. And it's pretty fascinating to actually see the difference in the responses that you'll get. If you're asking for a research paper to be prepared for you, GPT-5 can go pretty deep in text. Claude actually brings the color and context of visualizations to life a little bit more effectively in that type of a scenario. So you can already see the differences in model diversity popping in some of our first-party agents.
And presumably the customer would want to select what's better for them. When this news came out a few hours ago, my social media feed, my emails, et cetera, everyone, circular economy. This is, vendor financing, whatever you want to call it. There's a lot of concerns about this nature of the people who are accepting the money from these AI companies, also financing them. Do you think we're in this kind of circular economy sort of mode right now, or why invest in the company that's paying?
Sure. Well, if you think about it, the partnership that we started with OpenAI years ago, we invested $1 billion in OpenAI to help get them off the ground, and that's flourished into the AI standard, if you will, in the market today. We're doing the same thing with Anthropic to help bootstrap their growth and to help bring them to a new level of parity because they have fantastic models that have great use cases. We showed some of them on stage today at Ignite, and we want to make sure that the companies that are empowering the future of AI actually have the right kind of grounding in the market, and we're happy to be able to support them the way we're doing.
Matt, what do you think about? Oh, Matt's on the phone. Dougie, what do you think about what he just said, and what are your predictions for tomorrow with Nvidia?
Okay, first of all, did you see the comment I just put? Circular financing is not always bad. Ford loans you the money to buy a Ford, and that is fine. So just because it exists doesn't mean it's bad. Now, can it get out of control? Yes, it can. And probably will all those companies get way too levered up? Probably. And that's when the rubber band snaps back. But in and of itself, the circular financing, I don't believe, as long as it's done above board, is deleterious to the market. Because it allows the people with the cash to invest in the ecosystem overall. Well, and then what was your question on Nvidia? I mean, Nvidia is going to crush. The question is, is it 60% year over year? And if it's not, is it 50? And if it's not, is it 40? And what is the number that is going to make the market continue to sell off if they don't come in above it? Like if they don't come in with a 60% beat and guide for 200% next year, is the market going to take that down? I don't know.
So,
but they're gonna crush. They're gonna put out insane numbers. It's gonna be right at like 60%, I think.
They are expected to do $54 billion in revenue. They did 35.1 in Q3 2024. And if they hit 54 on the nose, that would be 54% year over year growth. They would add 18.9 billion.
That is incredible.
It's incredible.
For 2 years we've been saying, oh, they can't possibly continue to go up because their comps from this year will be too difficult. That's what the guy was saying today. I was watching his video and somebody else's stream. the dean of valuation or something. He was saying, oh, well, you know, basically he was saying the comps are too impossible for companies to continue to do well. And to that, I have to say, Steve, do you think that people are buying stocks in a vacuum where they don't know what happened last year? They're completely unaware that this 50% growth has gone on for 3 years in a row or whatever, right? I don't think that they do. And this guy is acting like every decision is made in a total vacuum where everyone is only looking at the quarter and they've completely forgotten about the explosive growth of the last 2 years. What do you think of that?
So Amit sent me a post. I want to see if I can find it on his X feed. Hold on.
Yeah, it was Aswath Damaduran, the NYU
Okay,
guy.
yeah. And I found it. So just so everybody can see what we are talking about, this is the post that Amit sent to me a little while ago. Quote, with all the Mag 7, the more CapEx they spend, the more cautious I become. If you're planning to buy them, it's not a great time. The only one I would say to buy is Apple. It's the most cautious of these companies. I think everybody knows how I feel about what was said because I run the numbers and I show the numbers every time. I really don't want to get into a huge thing, but I think he's wrong. Now, the dean of valuation, I don't know why he's the dean of valuation, but obviously, my opinion, he doesn't know what he's looking at when it comes to this because these companies are growing their cash from operations much quicker than Apple, like night and day more than Apple. And Apple in 2021 was the only one that was generating over $100 billion in cash from operations. The only reason Microsoft, Alphabet, and Amazon are generating more cash from operations than Apple now on a trailing 12 basis is because of the amount of capital they've deployed in CapEx, the amount that they have invested in themselves, because it has absolutely expanded their product offering. So I think his whole line of thinking is incorrect. And paying 30 times for forward earnings on Apple when they're barely growing, and the only reason their EPS is growing the way it is because of their buybacks, versus paying 18 times for Meta and less than 25 times for Alphabet, Nvidia, Amazon, and Microsoft. I don't know what he's looking at. I would love to have a 30-minute conversation with him and show him the raw numbers and see what he says. I don't get it.
I think he fundamentally just looks at a spreadsheet and says, this is CapEx, as if they built a new office building or they hired some more employees. And he's fundamentally discounting that they're building infrastructure for themselves because the government won't do it. The government can't do it quickly enough. Now, Ijambek makes a good point here because I think there's caution. The supply constraint may be an issue going forward because the CapEx that they're all assigning, they can't build it that fast, right? That somebody on CNBC was saying today, oh, we've given you the money, now we want the results. Yeah, you gave us the money 6 months ago. Do you know how long it takes to get a permit to build something, anything, let alone, so many acres of data center just to buy the copper wiring and concrete alone, let alone source it, move it around the country, do the logistics, and then hook up the power and water and get those contracts set up with the utilities so that they don't overly disrupt the population. The immediate turnaround on this CapEx is not going to be next quarter. So and if the market wants to take them down because of that, that is stupidly short-sighted, and I'll be buying that particular doom and gloom.
Yeah, so I'm actually going to show the numbers. This spreadsheet's not pretty, okay? So I apologize. It is not pretty. It is very raw. But you look at revenue from 2021 to the trailing 12, Apple has only grown their revenue by 13.7%, while Microsoft's revenue has grown 67%. Alphabet,
It may not be pretty, but it
49%.
sure is beautiful.
Well, I mean, it's pretty wild, right? Meta's 60%, Amazon 47%. Now, when you spend money on CapEx, you, as Dougie said, are building out infrastructure for yourself. Look at the cash from operations from Apple here. Cash from operations is up 7% in 4 years. Microsoft does 60% of the revenue that Apple does, and they do more cash from operations. They grew their cash from operations by 65%. If Microsoft was not investing in themselves with CapEx, their cash from operations would not have grown $58 billion in the past 4 years. Same with Alphabet, same with Meta, same with Amazon. So do we really want to penalize these companies for building out their infrastructure if their cash from operations was not exploding like this and it was flatlining or deteriorating? Absolutely punish them. But I want to know why he's the dean of valuation when when this is the numbers. Like, this isn't me making up bullshit. These are the actual numbers. And let's not forget, Apple is operating at a cash from operations margin of 27%. Microsoft 52%, Alphabet 39%, Meta 56%. Like, what are we talking about here?
Yeah. Like, this is, I mean, I know a lot of this is going into and then there's the depreciation panic that Burry's trying to start, right? But all this CapEx is not going just into GPUs. It is going into assets that last longer than that. You don't build, you don't talk about building gigawatts of data center and the main cost being the chips you're going to put in it right now. The main benefit you get from, I mean, maybe that is the main cost, but the main benefit you get from that is the power generation, your ability to use energy to do compute. And that's another, this guy has no idea what he's talking about. The use for compute is not going down ever. It will never recede, barring, an end of civilization. But as long as we're a technological civilization, the use of compute is never going to be like, oh, I guess we don't have anywhere we don't need to get more efficient with anything. We don't need to try to do something else or automate one other thing. That's never ever going down.
Well, and the other thing, you look at the valuation. I mean, he's a dean of valuation, right? These are the analyst numbers that Apple is trading at 29 times 2027 earnings with 21% EPS growth. I mean, Microsoft, which is putting up more cash from operations, growing their cash from operations at a much quicker rate with a margin that is more than double Apple's, is trading at less than 23 times forward earnings. You tell me how the dean of valuation thinks Apple is a better buy right now.
He said because they are more cautious. And that's a load of crap.
More cautious. That's right. We're making freaking socks for an iPhone.
Yeah, I noticed that the CNBC guys never asked him that question. Oh, if they're more cautious, what do you think about this?
The fact that they just make these, I'm coming out making these statements publicly with the numbers to back it up, and they're not my numbers. I am using the actual data from the companies and the actual forecast from the street. I love how these people just make statements without any backup. It's crazy. I mean, I'm sorry. I'd rather buy Meta at 17.78 times earnings.
Yeah. Same.
The valuation is almost half.
And I don't love Meta's position they're in where the only thing they make money on is advertising. I think they really need to establish another vertical and do it quickly. And I mean, Zucks is trying, but he hasn't accomplished it yet. But it would really be nice to see AI used for something other than advertising us stuff. But I mean, somebody had a good comment a minute ago. Yeah, PoxAmp. Moore's law says compute doubles every 2 years. Well, the question I have then, Pox, is what is the appetite for that compute? I bet you that more than doubles every 2 years.
I personally think Moore's law is shattered, but that's just me. I have nothing to back it up. It's just a feeling. And it's funny that the Dean of Valuation comes out with something today where it's just a headline blurb, and I come out with an article on Seeking Alpha. As a shareholder, I am concerned about their ability to innovate. The comments, like everybody is going crazy that decided to leave a comment on this article saying that I don't know what I'm talking about. It's like, okay, I don't know what I'm talking about. But the facts are Apple is massively underinvesting in everything. And now they are in a position of they're going to get leveraged. They're going to lose their strategic value because now they're going to have the brain outsourced from another company. They have always controlled their own destiny by building what I think is the best operating system. And
well, that's why Tim is ultimately retiring, right?
Right.
Because his strength being the logistics wizard that he is, and he is an amazing manager. Okay. I do not want to take anything away from the guy, but he's not a product guy. He's a logistics wizard. And that's why he was able to turn Apple into the printing machine that it is, because he was able to leverage China's ability to make all this stuff for us at low cost. Well, the current political environment says all that stuff needs to be reshored. Well, you don't need a logistics genius moving all the work overseas anymore. Now you need somebody who can innovate, because the boss at the top of the company is not an innovator. And you can see that in their spend.
So this is what drives me nuts.
And they're hiring an engineer as their next CEO, and I bet you he's going to spend and innovate, or he's going to try.
They should. I love 2-word comments. You're wrong. It's like, okay, I just put out a 2,400-word article. At least give me a sentence about why I'm wrong. Like, I don't even know what I'm wrong about. I guess the whole thing.
Come back with a 3-word sentence.
You're always wrong, Stephen.
Always wrong. But the comments like this, they are so smart to sit back and evaluate the AI situation, let others spend tons of money, then partner at a much lower cost. Partner at a much lower cost, they're going to have to embed. And by the way, if anybody in the chat goes and leaves a comment on this, I will respond to your comment. Just putting it out there. Partnering at a lower cost is not a good idea, because iOS has been the backbone of every ecosystem they've done, from the iPad to the iPod to the Mac. They are now giving away a very big strategic position, having to sub this out to either Gemini or OpenAI or whoever it is. And what happens in 3 or 4 years from now when they have to re-up? They have no leverage. It is just, I think it's a very bad position. Very bad position. Oh, look who's in the chat. The legend is in the chat.
Well, yeah,
Matt,
hearing everybody and somebody giving him a microphone.
Yeah, Amit, get him to come on, get me to come on, let him and I have a conversation. Let's see who, and have a live poll or start a poly market.
I don't know, man. I kind of agree with him. I mean, it just doesn't make sense where all this money's going to go. And I get it. Like, there will be earnings that come from this. I just don't think that the return on capital that people are believing is actually going to show up. I think there's going to be a lot of inefficiency. I think there's going to be, sorry, I missed a lot of the chat, but I just feel like there's going to be a lot of inefficiency that people aren't really fully recognizing. And the one thing that also bothers me, and Doug, and I think we talked about this a good bit as well, is like the financial engineering, like financing people being like, oh yeah, we'll give you $30 billion worth of, this, that, and the other. It's just like you're kind of booking future profits today almost to an extent, and just giving people the opportunity. It's like, but when push comes to shove, that commitment may or may not actually show up. And next thing you know, all that's going to crumble. And, you were spending X amount and now you're not, right? So it's just interesting to an extent. So by no means am I saying it's all Fugazi. It's not all Fugazi, but I don't think that the spend that's happening is the most efficient spend. And that's why I still believe in the next 2 to 3 years, you're going to see a massive pullback on the amount of capital that's being spent.
I mean, if you get data centers built and you get power plants built and you get water treatment or water recycling or whatever for your cooling built, right? And you get some quantum computing actually built, you may not be able to flip a switch and monetize that right away, but you have secured the future of your company at 2020, at 2025 prices instead of at 2032 prices.
Yeah, like you have to do it because everyone else is doing it, right? So I see this a lot in the oil and gas business. And what ends up happening is you have inflation, right? Like we talk about normal inflation, like we're talking about, milk is going up, etc. Think about how much power inflation is going to be. Oh, well, now you have all these hundreds of billions of dollars that was going at pace of, I don't know how much spent per year, but now you have all these people wanting to do small modular reactors, and you want all these people to do natural gas turbines. You want all these people. So what's going to happen? In order to get that faster, well, you can't just magically, pay money and it shows up. So in order for that to happen, you have to pay more money, right? To be able to get the opportunity to get these things. And so what people are initially promising, you're going to see costs inflate for some of these things dramatically year over year. And I've seen it happen in the oil and gas industry, and you've probably seen it as well, Doug, by 20, 30% in a single year sometimes, depending on the environment. And I'm sure it's going to be comparable to what we see here.
We have a rule in maintenance and inspection, which is you can have it quick, you can have it cheap, and you can have it high quality. Pick two. And right now, these companies, they're needing it high quality and they're needing it fast, which means it's not going to be cheap.
I mean, a simple thought, right? Let's just say there's only 100 Porsche 911s made, and next thing you know, for some reason, every single year is 100. But now you have all these tech companies wanting Porsche 911s. What's going to happen to the price of those 100 Porsche 911s in 2026 and then 2027?
Oh, yeah. And they also take like 3 years to build. So you can't just say, oh, we're going to ramp up production and see it. And by that, I'm specifically referring to like the natural gas turbines.
So like I said, you can't not do something. But I think the company that is smart and maybe they all recognize that some of it's going to come back to bite them in the ass, but they have the capital to spend, and they just say, well, we have to do it. I think that you're almost like, I think you said it appropriately, Doug. I don't know how exactly you put it, but you said it appropriately. It's just like, you're kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't. If you don't invest, you're going to be left behind. But you have to invest. So it's kind of like, you kind of have to just know that you're going to eat shit eventually. But eventually you're going to be farther along than you were, right? Just like how Amazon, they overbuilt the warehouses that they needed. So when you thought about it, they saw a trend, going from 10% of total e-commerce in the United States to 15 in a matter of 6 months because of the pandemic. And they started building, holy shit, we're going to 20% of all the commerce going to be warehousing, etc. Well, they said, all right, we got to slow down. Like, it's retracing, right? And now we're back to 15% of all the, but it had to go from 15 to 16, and then it dipped all the way back to 12.5%, and it had to normalize, right? So I feel like we're in this stage right now where all this is happening very abruptly. You're going to have a pullback eventually. People are going to slow down. They're going to pull back a little bit on it. They're going to say, you know what, maybe we're getting a little bit too crazy. Just like offshore wind with oil and gas in 2020, 2022. It's the same exact thing. And same thing with warehouses and Amazon. Like it's probably not exactly analogous. It's apples to oranges, but it's the same phenomenon. You have everybody trying to rush for the door to be able to get these investments. And unfortunately, only a few will win.
Well, and then there's the thing I also mentioned to you when we were at lunch. You know, if these energy prices do start skyrocketing, do you know what that makes far more valuable? My solar panels that are on my house. So is that then, hey, you're real, like if you're real bearish on the long lead times on all this stuff, your play might be Enphase and Tesla with their solar energy production powering these data centers, or at least offsetting the retail power users' costs, because the data centers and the big companies are upcharging all the energy.
If you want me to go down a huge rabbit hole, I can right now. But I don't know if I want to throw that in. I don't want to throw a grenade.
About what?
Steve, I don't even know if you want to know.
What's the
Well,
topic?
now we want to know.
Now we want to know. You can't tease us like that. That's like putting a freaking chocolate chip cookie in front of me without the milk. Like, what are we doing?
You gotta have the milk, Steve. You're the milk gang.
I
The
mean,
leader of the milk gang.
Dougie's got the Weller. I need the milk.
So Doug mentioned solar, yeah, and he mentioned battery capacity and things like. And why do you need battery capacity for some of these things? Because solar, you only get maximum solar working for 4 to 6 hours a day. Then you have the shoulder hours, right? The hours in which you get okay amount of efficiency with your solar panels, right? And then obviously you have, depending on where you live, you know, anywhere between 11 to 13 hours of basically negligible. You still actually get some solar efficiency with the moon, but not nearly to the extent, obviously. Like you might be getting 1 to 2% usage versus like 100% during the peak times of, and when I say usage, I mean of the capacity that you can get, right? Obviously, you're not getting full efficiency from solar panels. But where can you get 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, full solar capacity, Steve?
In outer space.
Outer fucking space, Steve. Outer space.
Well, it's
And
not
what can
hard.
you do?
I mean, there's no cycle. You're in outer space, direct line to the freaking sun.
Even. So you're 100% right, Steve. And so when you think about it in this particular manner, I actually was skeptical of this. I was very skeptical of this. But you think about how much rare earths it takes and, you know, how much fighting it's going to be, etc., to get all these rare earths to be able to make all these solar, these battery capacitors and things of like. What if I told you didn't even need any of this? What if, you know, yes, you're still going to need capacitors in some way, shape, or form because you're going to have, you know, peak times and off times, etc. But what if I told you didn't need to build out 3 times as much capacity on land here on terrestrial Earth if you could just build out the capacity you need in space because you have 24/7 capacity? And so you think about how much more efficient it would be. Now you're like, okay, well, how do you actually get that? Actually, believe it or not, transmitting energy through lasers and transmitting energy through radio frequency actually isn't as bad as I thought. And so if you think about it, like you get 24/7 of like almost premium solar capacity and energy, and then you do lose some obviously going through going from the satellites to the actual terminals on Earth, but it's way better than I was expecting. And so my thought process is holy shit, you know, maybe. Well, one, there's obviously the data centers and space piece. People talk about that quite a bit. I feel like that's tough, but I know a really good company that makes solar panels for space, and they've been tested on Mars, and they've been tested on James Webb Telescope, and I don't know. maybe I'm going down a rabbit hole here, but I feel like that you don't necessarily need all that terrestrial battery capacity and everything like that if you are able to have pretty much 24/7 capacity through space. Now, I said, you're still going to need some battery capacities, right? But I don't know. So that's the rabbit hole. Take it with what you will.
I love it. I love it. I do like the data centers in space. James Webb gives you the blueprint for it. You have a hot side and a cold side. So if you put a data center in space, you have a hot side with your solar production, and then you have a cold side to cool all your servers. And then your transmission is the data only, and you're not literally trying to microwave the planet.
So when are we going to see data centers in space?
Within the next 3 years.
Really?
Yeah. No, I mean, it's not going to be massive, but Bezos or Elon are going to put something up there just to say they were the first to do it.
The United States of space, Stephen.
United States of space. I like it.
Red Rock.
The moon is a great place too.
Sorry.
The moon is even better solution. You have all the benefits of space, but you also have gravity in case your data center needs servicing, and you can have people and robots and other stuff go work on it.
I got a silly question for the two of you. Was the moon landing real, or was it faked in the studio?
Steve, I know you've never left New York. Have you ever been to Texas?
I wanted to see your reactions.
Have you ever seen the Saturn V rocket?
I wanted to see your reactions from that.
Have you ever seen a Saturn V rocket?
Have I?
No.
No.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah. You see that, if you see that thing in person, and then you realize that they only sent the very, very, very tippy top of that thing. The rest of it was all fuel. You're like, of course it's going to the moon. It can't not go to the moon.
We're going to put a poll up.
I would find it hard to believe that you have that many thousands upon thousands of people working on it for it not to be.
Speaking of lasers, you can shine your laser on the moon now and get it reflected from the reflector that they put on it to measure the distance from the moon to Earth.
You guys are not going to be happy. So I just started a poll, and I'm sure there's people trolling right now. Did we fake the moon landing? We already have 87 votes. And over 40% says, yes, we faked the moon landing.
Yeah.
It's amazing that this has become a controversial topic.
I bet you there's a non-zero number of people in the chat that believe the Earth is flat, too.
Dude, you tell me the Earth isn't flat? Have you seen the new maps from the flat Earth people?
I can't even.
It's amazing. Like, it's really amazing. It's some cool stuff.
You see what's over my shoulder in the feed, right?
Yeah, a rocket with clouds, yes.
Okay. Like my friends can launch rockets high enough to see the curvature of the Earth. I haven't done it yet, but it does work.
I had to get popcorn for this conversation.
Oh my God. So obviously I know the Earth is round. Obviously. But I've been trying to convince my dad, who's a rocket scientist, that the Earth is flat for years.
Continue, Steve.
Oh, what does your dad do?
I'll tell you offline.
Okay, yeah. Tell me offline. Now I'm like, oh, that's a whole other thing I need to talk to Steve about. You just got even more interesting.
No, not me. Definitely not me.
Steve, what else you got?
Your dad and my dad would have been real interesting, though.
47% we faked the moon landing.
These people have never seen, like, they know, they think they know how a bullet
Don't
works.
say they never left the country, Doug.
Oh, whoa. I can't believe you just said that, Doug, because I was just about to say who killed Kennedy.
I have no idea, but it wasn't Lee Harvey Oswald.
We're gonna get demonetized to you.
Why?
Well, not we, you.
Why? You can't talk about that?
No, I mean you're gonna end up like what's that guy?
I have no idea. What
Alex or whatever the hell.
you're not allowed to talk about those things?
Oh, I'm sure you can. It's just
So what do
whoever
we
said
think?
Kennedy, it had a better chance to be your
Someone
dad
said it
than
up
it
there.
did Lee Harvey Oswald.
All right. So
Alex Jones, thank you.
all right, we're not going to become the next Alex Jones. So what do we see Nvidia doing tomorrow? I think Jensen's going to put up phenomenal quarter. I mean, we already know TSM, what they did. We know about the backlog from the big three. We know what the big four spent on CapEx. We know about all the new deals for compute. So I think we're going to get a blowout quarter tomorrow, and I think we're going to get several blowout quarters going forward. The real question is, how long can this last? And I don't have an answer for how long this can last, but at least for tomorrow, I think we're coming in above 54 billion revenue.
I agree.
I don't know anything.
And then, like I said, and then the volatility falls off anyway because Nvidia's earnings are out.
So that maybe that's a better question. Is Nvidia taking the market higher or just keeping it level? Or is this just going to be a sell the news moment and we're going to see a 5% down after hours across the board?
I'm buying if they do. Somebody said Jensen needs to debunk the demand questions. AJJ 53. I don't think anyone who, I think you have two camps now. You have people who believe Jensen when he talks about the demand, and you have people who don't believe Jensen when he talks about demand. And I think everybody has now fallen into one of those two categories, and it doesn't matter what he says. Because he talks about demand 4 times a week.
Maddie, what do you think?
What's the question? Sorry.
Nvidia.
I have no idea about any of it. I don't really follow the company. I'm going to zero.
You really don't follow Nvidia?
Nope.
Interesting.
Good luck to everyone. Good luck, everybody.
Good luck. Matt's like, good luck, everybody. Okay.
I'm not smart enough.
Well, you definitely are smart enough. I just think you're not interested.
Yeah, I just yeah, I mean, I wish everybody well. I don't wish anybody poorly. It's just, I don't know. I think it's tough. I think it's going to be cyclical. Like I stated, I mean, I think that the easy money for Nvidia has been made. I'm not saying that it's the top. I'm not saying that they're going to go down, but I just feel like that there's going to be some sort of cycle to it that we see some sort of pullback. And with that, I think you're going to see a lot of scared people. I don't think it's this quarter. I don't think it's next. I don't think it's the next couple quarters, but eventually in the next 24 months, I feel like there will be a very big scare when maybe not 24, but 24 to 36 months will be a scare. And I think that it'll frighten a lot of people.
I agree with you, Matt. I think it's going to be product related though, because the demand for Blackwell is not how fast the chips are. It's how efficient they are. And we already know their next chip is going to be even more power efficient, meaning meaning your biggest expense of running your data, these billion-dollar data centers that they're buying, the biggest expense for OpEx is power. The chips that they're buying from Nvidia allow them to get more tokens per watt used. That means that it is more beneficial to your bottom line to buy the new chips, to invest in the new chips whenever they come out. At some point, Nvidia and TSM are going to reach the point where the price of the next upgrade of chip is no longer more efficient, power efficient than the current gen. It might be faster, it might have all kinds of other bells and whistles, but it is no longer more power efficient. And that is when the hyperscalers, et cetera, will start to have a little bit more discretion as to what they're buying. But for right now, then probably the next 2 to 3 generations of chips, they're just getting more power efficient. And that means the demand is not going to fall off anytime soon. Because why would Microsoft or XAI or whoever not say, yeah, give me the stuff that's going to make my whole operation run less cheaper?
I got something to say. So, Doug, I appreciate you saying that. I just tuned into Doug's channel, and there's only 33 people. I'm not contributing any further to this conversation until Doug has at least 200 people.
It's rocket videos, people. I appreciate it, Matt, but Dougie doesn't need the followers.
Oh, what do you think? You're better than me?
It's just rocket launch videos.
What's the one? Is this not the one? Is this not the one that you're? Which one's the one that?
No, that's Austin. Link it in the chat.
Oh, link Austin. Well, either way, if you're not following Doug either, I'm on silence mode until Doug gets 250.
I appreciate the sentiment, but we're here to support Steve and have a good time.
Do we want to go down the crypto rabbit hole about that it didn't sell off today?
It's not done selling off, I don't think, but it doesn't have much further down to go. But yeah, we can go there if you want.
Maddie, is this something you would like to talk about? He's really boycotting us until you get 250. I love it. I love it. Don't worry, Matt. We'll hold it down. You just sit there in silence. All right, Dougie, take it away.
My guy, there has not been, like, the price action has gone down, but the volume has not come through, which means that this is not that nobody is buying the bottom and nobody is selling it. They're just letting it drift. I'm going to try to share my chart here with you. And I have a lot of other indicators. Everybody can just ignore those. Right now, the only thing that matters is the volume. You see, we had a little green candle yesterday. The volume was same as the one that was slightly red the day before. These are not big volume days. Look, like this was the volume the last couple of the days. You want to see something where the volume comes through? Look at these, right? So here's my arrows for these days. Big volume, sell off. That's green. It technically, like, it gapped down and came all the way back up. So it's technically green, but it's still a big sell-off that day. We do not have the volume coming through here. Now, yeah, the MACD is way low. RSI is down in the dumps, but I think we need to see a big volume spike to tell us that we have capitulation. And we're not on a Fibonacci level either. I like to see those things converge, which will be right here at this hole in the volume profile. So right around 28 on ETH, 28.4 on ETH. That's where I'd put my buys at for some limit orders.
You put them at 2,800?
Yeah, I'm gonna start laddering. I'm gonna start laddering in a bunch of limit buys all the way down to 20 and just kind of make this my golden pocket right here. Well, if it hits this, it's gonna bounce off hard, but I'm gonna be acquiring all the way down.
I mean, I will be starting to buy again next week. I have a few things freeing up, so I am planning on being a buyer next week.
Yeah, look, there's just not the volume to tell you that the market has made up its mind or that it's panicked. Like, it's just been drifting. So
Yeah,
mean,
I really need.
I can pull up Bitcoin. I didn't look at it today, but I bet you it says the same thing.
I need somebody to teach me TA is what I need.
Oh, look at this. Look at that yellow bar I had. Look how perfectly that rejected there. Because you had support here. But yeah, this retracement. So yeah, look at about 85 or so for Bitcoin to bottom. I mean, I already know the do not go below line is 66.7.
So just so everybody knows, I'm not selling anything. I have a few things coming in is different than I'm selling things. So next week I'm buying because I have some stuff coming in. Not getting out of any positions. I still own Apple, even though I'm annoyed at them. And if I had to guess, Dougie is drinking Weller 12.
Yes. And honestly, right now, if you want a better buy based on this trend, I know I'm about to tick off Steve here. Buy Bitcoin, not Ethereum.
Look, that does not piss me off. I want everybody to do well. If you can make money on Bitcoin, please make money on Bitcoin. It's just not for me.
I'm just saying the trade between the two is trending towards Bitcoin because this is the price of Ethereum over the price of Bitcoin. Of all of 2025, it has this action.
Guys, we got to get Dougie to 250. Matt may not be able to talk for Cash Flow Chronicles tonight either.
Oof. And do you want to see the large trend here?
Yes, I do.
This is the historic ETH to Bitcoin pricing. I mean, you've had a little run up this year, but overall it is still down and to the right. So might that reverse? Maybe. Are we looking at wave one? Are we looking at the bottom of a wave two here, and then we have a little bit of this action? Are we going to come up on something like that? Maybe. I just don't think so. But anyway, and you just got to keep in mind, this number can go down if Bitcoin goes up relative to ETH, or if ETH goes down relative to Bitcoin, right? Like if ETH crashes and Bitcoin stays neutral, that goes down. If Bitcoin goes up and ETH stays neutral, that number also goes down. So it's just an interesting way to look at the two largest crypto assets.
Very interesting. I need a full TA lesson is what I need. One of these days. One of these days. Matty, you're really not talking, are you? Okay.
Matty, my guy.
Does this
See,
mean
I get halfway through my bourbon and I can't stop talking. I'm the other way around.
Matty, does this mean Cash Flow Chronicles? You're not going to talk either? Whoa. Tell Mr. Patel he's got to freaking hold it down. Crazy.
Chris is not known for the silent treatment. All right, Alston's over 50 now. Okay, that means he and I can actually live stream this weekend. We don't have to pre-record. Hey, we are having one of our finance friends come for a Houston visit this week. I don't know if you heard that.
Nice.
One of our friends we got to be close with at the Miami meetup decided they wanted to come hang out with the gang in Houston. So we're all gonna go hang out for the weekend.
Well, I believe I will be in attendance for the New York meetup. I believe I will be. And I believe I may start traveling to meetups too. We will see.
That would be awesome.
I'm going to start hanging out more.
It was a lot. It was a lot of fun.
I see the pictures. They look great.
It was a lot of fun.
All right. We got to answer a few things real quick. So first, Whataburger honey butter chicken wings are fire. I've never had Whataburger, so I couldn't tell you.
PB Cat, I'm going to tell you, the honey butter chicken biscuit is the next breakfast biscuit is the next.
I am down with chicken biscuit, by the way.
And that honey butter is.
So cold or warm milk, it's always cold. It's ice cold all the time. And I am good with all three. I have not had strawberry milk in a very long time, but you put it in front of me, it's going down the hatch. Austin, thank you so much. I will bring security with me. Maddie will be my security. That didn't even make Matt laugh. Like, I don't know what the hell's going on here. Unbelievable. Well, everybody, it's about to get very interesting in here. Since Matt is boycotting talking, we had to throw the lifeline out, and the legend is here.
Oh, gosh, this guy. Hey, I wonder if we're going to talk about affordability.
I love Doug.
I love you, bro.
Doug's
I've
the
been
best.
giving you a lot of crap, but you know I love you, right?
Doug, you've been giving me crap for 3 years, but I love it. It's great. It's great. What's up, guys? Are we talking about Oswath as like the smartest professor? Steve, when you texted me fucking NYU should fire that guy, I read your text to people on the close. People were dying laughing.
So
Because it's actually
I didn't
hilarious.
hear that.
I found his Twitter account. And I'm thinking about going scorched earth tonight and doing like a 2,000 word post to him.
Well, I didn't realize this guy has been saying all these amazing companies have been overvalued for like 3 years. But I'm getting all these screenshots of like all these YouTube thumbnails where he's like, oh, they're overvalued, blah, blah, blah. And this is like from 23, 24. And all these stocks are up like 2-3x since then.
Yeah, I don't know if I have the brain capacity to do it tonight. I have how many words? 1,426 words in on a Kinder Morgan article. I want to finish that after the stream so I can get that out tomorrow. The scorched earth post, maybe I'll come tomorrow night. Maybe I'll do it tomorrow night. But tomorrow's busy. We got Nvidia. I'm really annoyed at what he said. There is a post coming. At some point, there's a post coming this week.
No, but he's a smart guy. Like I am in no position to I'm not an NYU professor, right? This guy is a very, very smart guy and he's very diligent with his analysis. It's just for him to say Apple out of all of them, and all of them are and again, people thought I was kidding when I said he went on the Prof G podcast and he spent 50 minutes scaring 250,000 people. But then he went on CNBC this morning and within 5 minutes he summarized what he said for 50 minutes, which is we are in a bubble and it will collapse. And Apple is your best form of safety because they're not spending on CapEx, implying all the CapEx is fake. Maybe he's right, but it's just hard to imagine that Google, Microsoft, Meta are not growing at the level they're growing at because of a lack of investment in CapEx.
He's wrong.
This is not like building a bridge between two, villages in China that crosses a giant span and it's $1 billion bridge. Okay, this is like connecting, New York to Los Angeles, like on a bridge. This infrastructure is real. These companies are going to put this infrastructure to work.
I mean, look, the bottom line is he's wrong. Apple's revenue over the past 4 years has grown 13.76%. Okay. Why? Because they don't fucking invest in themselves and deploy CapEx. Microsoft's has grown 67% their revenue, and their cash from operations 65%. Apple's cash from operations has grown 7%. So there's a direct correlation between CapEx allocation and growing your revenue and your cash from operations. Apple missed the boat on cloud. They missed the boat on AI, and their cash from operations is barely freaking moving. They were the only company that generated more than $100 billion in cash from operations in 2021. Now they are lagging Microsoft, Alphabet, and Amazon, and within the next year they'll be lacking Meta also. So this guy's wrong. The long scorched earth post is coming. It may take me a day or two, because I don't think I have the brain capacity to do it tonight.
Well, did you guys talk about the biggest news after hours with Constellation Energy?
No, I don't even know what happened.
Okay, so the U.S. gave them a loan for $1 billion to build a nuclear reactor in Pennsylvania. And that's the headline. And the Secretary of Energy was tweeting a lot about it. The sort of punchline to me is the U.S. is getting involved in terms of the government. They realize energy prices are too high. They realize if they want any sense of GDP growth, they need to invest in AI. In order to invest in AI, you obviously need to invest in power, which means it looks like they're going to be giving out loans to some of these energy companies to build out these plants. And I don't think that's the worst thing in the world, to be honest, because the people in Pennsylvania probably don't want to pay an extra $100 per month for electricity.
No,
You know what
we
would've
haven't,
been
we haven't
smart?
built our power infrastructure in 30 years because we didn't build factories. We just offshored it all to China. So China built all the power generation we should have been building, and now we're behind. The problem with investing in nuclear is you still don't have anywhere to put your spent fuel other than the local cooling pools. So, you know, Congress had a deal with INPO back in the 1970s and 80s to build out Yucca Mountain, and Congress reneged on that deal. So INPO is the nuclear power operators, essentially guild, right? So all the utilities in the country that operate nuclear power make up INPO. You can't dump nukes in space because what if it blows up on the way up? That would be bad. So Congress, and I don't think, look, Congress can't even get together enough to keep the business running of the government, but apparently they can all get together to decide that Epstein somethings need to be released. I don't know why.
Yeah, look, I'm a fan of this $1 billion loan because, like, I know people are kind of afraid.
I'm just like, they just need to do the other side of it, the back side of it. I mean, like,
yes.
they're front loading everything for the headline, and the backside is just not, like, you haven't solved the problem that nuclear has been worried about for the last 30 years.
Yeah. Also, as you, this is not, we're not bailing out like companies because of, you know, we're giving money to for infrastructure because we need to create infrastructure. This is Mike Wilson's bull case as well. I've been trying to read into why he thinks 700 to 800 on the S&P next year. And his argument is like, for the past 20 years, the United States has not invested. Like, companies have not, and that's why the margins have been so amazing. Like, because we are asset light, and as you said, Doug, we get all our shit from China. So for the first time in 20 years, like, we're actually, this whole CapEx revolution is creating an investment. We obviously need to get an ROI on that, but for now, everyone to be screaming that it's 2022 2.0 because we're starting to invest, it's like, okay, I guess so. I mean,
yeah, you don't get ROI on infrastructure build out in 2 quarters.
Agreed. And
you got to think longer term. You got to think 5 years.
Well, it's like it's like 3 weeks ago, everyone was cool with that narrative. But then over the past 3 weeks, and you know, there's things that have happened over the past 3 weeks, labor market, Oracle, debt, etc. There's so much doubt now about the ROI that it's creating the choppiness in the market, which I think is healthy. It's healthy to be skeptical about this stuff. But people are calling for 40% drawdowns next year on the NASDAQ. And I'm just like, I don't know if it's that much of a panic that we need to be thinking about.
We need 40% drawdowns in companies like freaking Oklo, not the NASDAQ.
Which, by the way, already got cut in half.
We need another 40%.
I'm with you, but a lot of that froth is starting to come out. It's not like that froth is still stuck, which is good. And if it takes Robinhood from 150 to 110 down with it, then I'll deal with that. But for the health of the overall market, I don't think that's the worst thing that's going on. But like, do you guys think there's any legitimate chance? Like, if you had to put a percentage that we enter, that 2026 is 2022, and we have a 20% down year on the S&P, 37% down on the Nasdaq. Do you think there's any real? I mean, obviously there's always a chance, but like,
I mean, the price action could be that, but it's not going to do that for the same reason. Does that make sense?
Well, at some point, the price action,
I mean, the price action is the price action, right? But
I think for that type for that type of
inflation killing the economy, and the other is that.
Well, my question is more so, if we were to get that big of a drawdown, there would have to be something that would happen, like what happened in 2022. And I'm trying to run the scenarios in my head. Like, could something happen next year that actually creates a 20% down, like 4,800 on the S&P? That's where we would be at the end of the year in 2026 if that happened. I don't think there's enough velocity in the earnings degrowth, because we would have to see earnings degrowth or a recession, which maybe could happen. Maybe, but like, I'm trying to figure out, where do the bears think we end up with a full-on drawdown next year?
The bears don't look at cash flow statements. The bears don't look at financials. I mean, the companies that are overvalued make up such a small percentage of the NASDAQ and of the S&P 500. And there's a lot of companies in the S&P 500 that are not tech that are arguably undervalued. And we could see a broad market rally with tech just kind of rally next year. The market doesn't necessarily have to be led by overwhelming tech. Like, this is not an expensive market.
Well, I'd be okay with that, dude. If the value stocks want to go up 10% next year and tech wants to be up like 4%, I'm fine with that. I just don't want a freaking 30% drawdown in tech, because 2022 was painful, and all of us, are probably going to be down more than 30% if the Nasdaq is down 30%. But I am not really. The AI, it would have to be a bubble, and the bubble would have to pop for that to happen.
Is it okay if Tom Lee is like 1 year late on the IWM?
That would be really funny if he was late and then small caps pump next year. I'd be happy if that happens, but no, I don't think that's crazy to imagine either.
Guys, the reason I say this is not an expensive market is because when I say the market, I'm talking about the S&P 500, okay? The 10 largest companies in the SPY represent 39.4%. And 8 of those companies are the Mag 7, because Alphabet's on there twice, because they have two different shares, because Class A, Class C. Now, when you have 35% of the top 10 being, or 35% of the S&P being Mag 7, and 6 out of the 7 of them trade at a lower multiple than Costco and Walmart, and 6 of them trade at less than 25 times forward earnings, that's not really an expensive market. There are companies that are expensive. There are pockets of the market that are expensive, but that's every market. Look at energy. Don't try to tell me Exxon and Chevron are expensive, because they're not. Companies like Verizon are not expensive. Companies like Salesforce and Cisco are not expensive. So, I mean,
by the way, people saying Verizon's their, yield chasing play for next year. I looked at Verizon in 2022. Dude, it went from 58 to 38. Like, it wasn't pretty. So, for people saying, oh, I'm going to go for value in 2026, it's like, well, you got to be really selective, because some of those value names got destroyed in 22.
I'm glad you say that. I'm glad you say that. If we're going value in 2026, you know what we're going?
Going meta, baby.
We're going dun, 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 Apple, Microsoft, and Amazon, sir. You want to go value? This is the State Street Value S&P 500 fund.
That's crazy.
The 3 largest companies in it are Apple.
You had Chris on a couple weeks talking about that, right? A couple weeks ago talking about that.
Were.
Yeah. Dude,
and
the fact that
on there too.
the fact that Amazon gave back all of its earnings gains after a phenomenal quarter, like this is why even my dad was just like, "What the fuck's going on with Amazon?" I was like, it's a market where everything's getting hit, which feels kind of like 2022-ish, and it's probably healthy to, given it was 6 months of green. But I wonder next year, does that same price action play out? And again, I just think I think the market would have to give up on this belief of AI,
Which I don't think is going to happen.
Yeah, and I'm trying to run through the scenarios. I'm trying to steel man the argument of like, how does the market give up on it? It can't be companies' earnings growth. It can't be less powerful Nvidia chips. It can't be AMD revenues slacking off. So realistically, I think it's a recession, and it's Meta being like, we're going to spend 20 billion on GPUs instead of 70 billion because we're afraid about the consumer. Like that probably triggers it, which is more of a Fed decision, in my opinion, than anything else.
Those are two things that can absolutely happen.
That triggers the whole market down. So do we see Meta back to $80 again?
No, not that drastic. But if we get a recession, which we very well could, we are going to see a pretty bad year next year. At the same time, I'm not saying that I'm the smartest, and I'm not saying that I know what the best route is. But I'm sure as hell going to listen to the best CEOs rather than people on financial news networks or analysts talking about a bear case. I'm going to listen to Sundar, Nadella, Jassy, and Zuckerberg that AI is real and that they have to spend because they built multi-trillion-dollar companies. So this is not just one company sitting off on the sides doing something erratic. This is every one of them and all the smaller companies trying to nibble at their heels. So at the end of the day, I'm going to listen to them, not the bears. It is what it is.
I agree. I think the question for Nvidia tomorrow, which is like a really important question, is this idea of depreciation. So Jensen's in a little bit of a catch-22 right here, right? When the analyst says, hey, you've got all these people concerned about depreciation, which is overstating hyperscaler earnings. On one hand, Jensen has to say that these companies should be upgrading to the next model every year because he wants them to buy the next model. On the other hand, he has to say it's okay for the companies to basically elongate the lifespan of the depreciation so that Meta's not overstating their earnings because they're taking that depreciation into account. So I think he has to walk a fine line behind saying that the other chips that we sold them 2 years ago are still powerful enough for them to be able to use, but they still need to be upgrading, and therefore there's not like a conflict within the depreciation schedule.
Maddie, is that I'm going to put you on the big screen for a moment. Is that I don't even know how to do it. Is that a Cohiba Siglio or is it a Belky? What do you got there? Matt's still boycotting us, but he's playing with a Cohiba, and I want to know. See, he's smiling. He can hear us. You got a little Belky over there? What do you got? At least show us. Is it a Siglio or a Belky? Don't leave us hanging. The chat wants to know. He's going to keep it a secret. All right, keep going.
Hey, he connected me with a very fine cigar. When we went to lunch the other day, he gave me a very fine cigar. It was a beautiful day. We were hanging out in downtown Houston by the convention center. There was a nice little park. We just sat there, just hung out, shot the breeze, smoked stogie, and I was just like, you know what? I bet all of our friends freezing their butts off in the Northeast would die for a nice, sunny, breezy 75, 78 degree day.
It was pretty fucking cold yesterday.
Dude, I walked outside today. I was like, bro, it's cold.
We're supposed to get a bad winter, Emmett.
Like we're having a record high tomorrow.
Yeah, I realized how much I hate the cold when I walked out today. I was like, damn, this is not fun anymore.
I tried to tell you to move to Austin, but no.
You could have moved to Miami. You could have done a lot of things.
No,
I would move to Miami before Austin,
York.
bro. Austin is not.
Austin
fun.
is the future financial center of the world. And
no, it's Doug. No, it's not. Like, what are you smoking?
Like BlackRock don't miss.
Miami is the second Wall Street, not Austin. Not in any shape or form.
BlackRock does not miss.
Austin has a couple podcasters, and you're like, oh, it's the best place in the world. It's like, no, dude.
Yeah,
Like,
a couple.
barbecue and podcasters does not Austin's not even touching a strain of New York. Okay. And then Miami's just gorgeous.
Austin's a confluence of San Francisco and New York. Yeah, Miami's great. I loved it there. But and I don't even like Austin particularly that much. I was just like, for the future of where you're going to be for the next 20 years, Austin is where you want to be.
I think it's New York. I think New York it's still the mecca for finance and for media.
Oh, it's mecca, right?
Oh my gosh, that was a good one.
Sorry, you set that one up, bro.
No, that was a good one, dude. That was a good one. Can't blame you. That was a good one.
Matt can't stop laughing.
It was such a good joke. Matt's gonna have to go off mute to laugh about that one.
He is on mute. He's been on mute for like 45 minutes.
That's hilarious.
Oh boy. Well, tomorrow's going to be
You
an
can
interesting
come off of
day.
mute now. Matt, Austin and I have enough subs to go live now, which is what we really wanted. So we'll grow our own.
That was the under goal. That was the goal at the end. Matt, how you doing, brother? Good to see you. Yeah, that was. I wanted to shoot for the moon, but you know the fact that I got you guys to go live.
Matt, what type of cigar you got there?
Well, Steven, I got a bunch of different cigars here, Steven. Which one do you want to talk about?
I want to know what Cohiba was. It was a Belky or a Siglia?
This is Siglia. I smoked all the Bahiques.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's the Siglia.
I got a box of them in my humidor behind me.
You're better than me, Steven?
I love Cohibas. They're my favorite.
You don't love them anymore, Steven?
I don't love them anymore, but I do love them.
I mean, what are we buying, man? Nothing? You gonna wait?
Oh, Mitt's gonna fucking fall over.
We're buying grab at these levels, to be honest with you. I'm
But
lowering
Mitt, you
the
know what I'm
market.
gonna be forced to buy next week?
What?
Grab.
Yep, I'm forced to buy Grab next week.
Wait, you sold puts on it?
No, fucking Dookie and some other people gave me super chats to buy Grab.
Let's go.
Dude, if you're not going to buy it here, I don't think you're ever going to buy it.
So I'm forced to buy it next week when it comes in.
I think there's a lot.
I'm adding right now. Like, I'm lowering my cost basis. I'm fine with that.
But I think Grab, Nebius, SoFi, Amazon. I think there's so many names that are discounted inappropriately given their earnings growth. Like, unless we are re-rating the market, that's why I was asking the question about 2022. Unless we're re-rating the market to that type of a new paradigm, all these names are cheap. Like, we're not talking about Tesla at 200 times earnings. We're talking about relatively cheap names. So,
Yeah, well, Tesla keeps getting re-rated up. I don't know why. But
Tesla holding 400 has been very impressive, to be honest. Like, in the face of this bloodbath, Tesla holding like 390, 400, I think is very impressive. So, I don't know.
Interesting question. BMNR has earnings come on the 20 what? Next week?
No, it has earnings tomorrow.
BMNR's tomorrow?
That's what I heard, yeah.
Is there an earnings call? Do we know?
I'll check the website, but from my understanding, there definitely should be an earnings call.
Okay.
I mean, who's going to be on it? The CEO who's been on the job for 3 days?
Oh yeah, hold on. Tomorrow earnings.
Yeah, they're saying Friday is earnings.
Wait, hold on. I'm reading this from here. Bitmine today announced results for its fiscal fourth quarter and full year ended August 31st, 25th. Will be released on Friday. Oh yeah, Friday. Okay, yeah, Friday morning. I mean, look, if he doesn't say we're staking, then I don't think there's anything to announce in the earnings because what else could they possibly say?
Isn't he already said they're going to start staking next year? Like, isn't that asked and answered?
Yes, but a lot of people on Twitter, at least in the BMNR community, are thinking there'll be a surprise announcement about we're going to start staking early.
Does Tom Lee strike you as a guy who cares what people on Twitter think?
Yes, actually. I think he really does care what people think. I don't think he would start staking for the hell of it. I do think, oh, well, here's a good question. Let's pull this question out there. Do we think he's hurt his credibility by even launching something like BMNR?
Yeah, but he'll be fine.
Okay, do you think there's any long-lasting damage of creating a treasury that and having everyone down 50, 60%? And, you know, because even ETH to get back to 4,000, it's going to take some time, right? Like, people are going to be sitting on these losses for a while unless they DCA aggressively.
Only to the people who are down.
No, everyone's down, dude. Everyone's down. No, who has a $30 average on BMNR?
Only the people who went into BMNR, which is still tiny, care.
I don't think it's time. This is the 45th most traded stock in the U.S. market every day. I don't think that, dude. I think, including myself, everyone is bag holding this name in retail, unless you bought it at like $10 the day they went public, but then they shot up to 160, so you probably didn't get to 10, right? Like you had to really be early. Like everyone loaded up around 40 to 50.
Yeah, I just don't see it. Tom Lee has had the stones to stay bullish, regardless of what Twitter thinks, and I don't think that is changing.
I'm down on it, and I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, but Steve, is it Tom Lee's fault though, or is it everybody?
No, it's not. It is.
For buying it.
No, it's not. It is not Tom Lee's fault. That's not what I'm trying to imply. It's not his fault at all. My point is, he has a very heavy retail following. He's on CNBC every week. He has millions of people that, do whatever he says because he is Tom Lee. And at the end of the day, as many times as we want to say you have to be accountable for your own decisions, like I think rational human beings understand that the market is made up of a lot of people, especially when money is getting thrown around. That gets irrational. I think the far majority, I mean, the amount of comments I've seen of scam Lee, he's leaving the country, he's going to McDonald's. I mean, these are hundreds and hundreds of comments of people that are pissed off at him. And I wonder if he's asking himself, did I really need to launch a digital asset treasury around Ethereum? Given I had granny shots, I had this, I had that. He had a lot of stuff going for him. I wonder if he's asking himself, did I really need to do that?
I mean, this was always going to happen, though. This was always going to happen. Either that or Tom Lee has not been watching crypto for the last 10 years. This was always going to happen.
We have 158 votes. 65% no, he has not hurt his credibility.
Yeah, look, I would agree. It's just, I agree with you, Doug. This was always going to happen. The problem is the timing was really bad. Like at its core, the timing sucked. Launching it with ETH at 4,500, bad timing. It happens, right? But it's just at his scale.
But it's like, so what do people think that it's literally saying scam Lee? So do they really think that like he's out there selling the ETH like out of his own personal stash while he got everybody to buy up and he's using public funds to buy BMNR and then use the BMNR money to buy up the price of ETH and then his own personal ETH he's selling off on the back end? Is that
I think
insinuating that he's doing?
No, I think it's simpler than that. I think they think he painted a fairy tale story for everybody about this magical asset that Wall Street would converge with, and it has not happened at all. AKA the price. It's happened because if you go under the hood, like we're seeing, but it hasn't happened on the price level, and everyone's just upset. Then they probably think he's making fees on the back end and like all that stuff to enrich himself, but everyone's left holding the bag.
I don't necessarily think that he's to blame. I think he recognizes that these things take time. And while I agree it wasn't the most opportune time to go public for something like this and fully announce that he's chairman, etc., at the end of the day, I think 10 years time, he's likely going to be the one that's laughing. And so, I mean, and I experience this a lot. You experience this a lot too, Amit. Like you're probably experiencing it right now with Grab. Like people are probably expecting it to be $20 at this point. You didn't promise it was going to be $20. So, it's the same thing with Rocket Lab and Palantir when they were down in the shit. People were expecting it. I bought it yesterday. Why isn't it 15x at this point. Like
I agree. The only difference, Matt, is Grab, Palantir, Rocket Lab. They're real companies with real cash flows that are all profitable, or Rocket Lab's about to be profitable. This Ethereum thing is like, it's a lot of people don't see, they just see it as an idea, right? And it's like, is this idea going to work out? There's no profitability. There's just like, hey, tokenization, stablecoin, adoption, yada. But those are all just narratives that have to manifest themselves. And in 10 years, I think you're right. He'll be having the last laugh. It's just in the short term, it is ugly.
I mean,
Well-
the stable coins are running on ETH. Now, ETH is losing value relative to Bitcoin, but that's going to ebb and flow. But the stable coins are coming. I just posted in the private chat if you want to pull that up. Singapore is trialing tokenized bills and stable coins. So the stable coins are coming, and they're coming from government. That is going to be huge. Oh, Burry tweeted.
somebody said ETH is as fake as the moon landing.
What did they say? It's a fake what?
ETH is as fake as the moon landing.
Listen, there's a big contingent of people who believe in flat Earth. Have you ever watched the actual Instagram videos about the flat Earth conventions? It's hilarious.
Steve, we know you've been to the convention, Steve.
I've never been to the convention.
Steve's like, I go every year.
Steve, you don't think we actually got on the moon, right?
Listen.
See. So I remember 2 years ago, Steve was on my stream, and somehow this topic came up, and I think there was only like 200-300 people in the stream, but everyone was like, "Wait a second, Steve actually doesn't think we got to the moon."
I mean,
so now, Steve, it's time to come clean with your audience.
Steve runs a.
I mean, to think that we got on the moon in the 60s, I mean, I don't know. What do you think?
I think you're kind of crazy, dude. I think we got to the moon. I don't think we faked all that. I really don't. I mean, there's some conspiracies I buy into, not that one.
I mean, either you think rockets work or they don't. And if you think that they work, then we went to the moon. And if you think that they're all fake, like all of them, SpaceX, Rocket Lab, ICBMs, AMRAAMs, if you think they're all fake, then they're all fake. Otherwise, we went to the moon.
America.
Dude, these maps of flat Earth are hilarious.
Bring them up, Steve.
Steve, we know you believe in them. You don't have to hide it from us. We'll accept you for who you are. Like, you just make sure you let us. Like, we know you believe in it. Like, it's okay.
He pulls it up. It's his signature in the lower right-hand corner.
We get it, bro. This is what you believe. You're allowed for your beliefs. It's a free country. You can believe in this.
Hold on. Look at this.
Is this what you're spending your Seeking Alpha money on? Is the cartography for flat Earth or what?
100%. That's what he's doing. 100%.
Like, how can anybody think this is real? How?
Dude, that's kind of crazy.
I mean, we're going to run out of water pretty quick.
That's not even like the crazy one. I got to find the real crazy one, and I'll bring it up. Like, there's some real crazy freaking maps. I should probably go to Google for this.
Well, so Burry just tweeted again. I can't tell because he's so cryptic sometimes. Is he saying he's long Baidu?
Wait, let me see. Let me check. He said, but it's Baidu, useful life 4 to 5 year servers, useful life 5 to 6 year servers. Oh, that's a long tweet. Oh, is this depreciation stuff, dude? I'm telling you, this is gonna be the #1 question with Jensen tomorrow.
Good. I hope he talks about it, but also 4 words. I don't care.
That's 3 words, but okay.
Well,
what's 4th word, Doug?
Fucking.
He's using Baidu's 2021 earnings transcript to say the GPU depreciation is less than what they put on the earnings, or more than.
Dude. They were mining Ethereum with those GPUs. This is a fundamentally different business. Before he showed the GPUs depreciating when they were being used to make Xboxes.
You know what's happening with Burry?
Gaming.
I think what's happening with Burry, and look, there is a world in which he's right about everything he's saying, right? There is a world in which that happens. But I think what he's really, like, psychoanalytically as a human being, I think he misses the high of being the guy on the island that was right. Like, I think for 15 years, he's been chasing that feeling of being the guy that no one believed in but was right. And he's tried to be that guy again, and he's failed every time he's tried. The most recent was 2023 when he said to sell, and we rallied.
His best bets have not been technology related.
Yeah, but I just think he wants to be the guy who, once again, sees what everyone doesn't see. And then I don't even think he cares about the money. I think he just cares about the aura of being Mr. Big Short again. And I think that's why he's publicly tweeting for the first time in years.
Speaking of Mr. Big Short, did you see the news where Eisman came out, announced he has cancer?
Whoa, I did not. What type of cancer?
Breast cancer. And so he's losing his hair. If you watch his pod, you'll see he started wearing a hat because he's losing his hair.
That's insane.
Oh man.
He said his doctors have told him he's going to make a full recovery, so that's good news.
Yeah, I wish the best for him. I did not know that.
I think we should go.
Does anybody know the story on why they changed the name of Eisman to Mark Baum in the movie? But everybody else
he's told the story many times, but I forgot, to be honest. But he has publicly explained a lot about it.
So is that the best investing movie that's ever been made?
Yes, 100%.
Yes, by far. Just from entertainment. It may get a lot of stuff wrong, and fundamentally it does a good job of getting the things right, but it's certainly the most entertaining.
The reason for it is because, like, everyone can, there's something beautiful about someone believing in something and no one believing in them, and that person sticking to their guns and their thesis and then it coming true. Obviously, in this case, it was a financial collapse, but I think everyone roots for the underdog. And in this case, the short sellers were the underdog. And the movie did a good job painting the big banks as the villains. Like, the short sellers were just taking advantage of what the big banks had done, which was criminal in terms of giving these loans to everybody and then reselling them, right? And being in bed with the rating agencies. But I think the movie did a great job explaining it.
So now that we're on to movies, I had a question for you, Steve. I was thinking about this the other day, and we're talking about movies, so sorry, mate. Your opinion doesn't matter. Steven, do you like a movie that is not necessarily in the subject matters that you're particularly interested in, if it's very well done, and you can just say, oh, that was a great film regardless of whether I'm normally interested in it or not?
Yeah, I'll give you a perfect example. I'm not I guess, love story or musical person, but I saw A Star Is Born in the movies, and it was a great fucking movie.
The new one with Lady Gaga and
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that was good.
It was a good movie.
Did you happen to have watched? Here's one I actually thought of because of the cultural relevance of our friend here. Did you see RRR?
No, I don't even know what that is.
Okay. I can't even begin to describe it to you other than it's Bollywood meets Marvel movies.
RRR movie?
RRR, the movie.
Okay.
And I'm sure, like, if you look it up, it's rated exceptionally well.
3 hours and 7 minutes?
Yep.
Jesus.
It's long and it flies by. Because it's one of those things, you're just entertained the whole time. And there's a few things that are a little culturally different, right? Because it's not made for an American audience. But Yeah.
All right.
I think if you have the time to commit to it.
I may be able to find
And
the
then
time
rolling
to-
back and speaking of The Big Short, what's his name? The actor, Michael Burry. What's his name?
Christian Bale.
Christian Bale. In negotiations to take the lead role in Heat 2.
Whoa, what?
Christian Bale in
He's gonna be in
negotiations to
Heat?
take the lead role in Heat 2.
What about DiCaprio?
I don't know about DiCaprio.
Wow,
Doesn't mean
that's
he won't be in it, but
big news.
Bale is a hell of an actor to get for that too.
Dude, Christian Bale, unsung hero of the movie The Fighter. He was freaking great.
Yes, he was fantastic.
Fantastic.
Or yeah, Leo and Bale in the same movie. That could be fire.
Amit, would you go see that? Leo and Christian Bale in the same movie?
Yeah, I probably would. I mean, that's a big movie for those two together. Like, I'd be interested in that.
I
So
still
this
think
is what we
Mitch
should
needs to
do.
watch K-pop Demon Hunters. It's just 90 minutes.
If Christian Bale and Leo are both in Heat 2, why don't you and I rent out a movie theater and do a meetup at the movie theater and watch it with everybody?
Oh, that would be a baller move.
That would be pretty epic, to be honest. That'd be pretty freaking epic.
Could get one of those like bar movie theaters too, so you could have all the drinks served and everything too.
Dude, Steve, when's the last time you've been to a movie theater, though?
Took my nephew to see Sonic 3, I think.
But like by yourself to watch a movie you cared about.
By
Like, I haven't been
myself.
since Oppenheimer.
I've never gone to a movie by myself.
Okay, I guess like with your wife or something. Like to watch a movie that you care about.
It's been a while.
So you just watch it like when it comes out on streaming then.
Yeah, because these things come out so quickly. The only time I would go to a movie at this point is if it was something where I really wanted the experience from the sound and I wanted to go see F1 in the movies. I just never got around to it. But if they make Days of Thunder 2, I'm 100% going to see it in the movies.
Yeah, I went for Oppenheimer and it was trash. I don't know why that movie even got any critical acclaim. Like I literally fell asleep.
What movie
Welcome
haven't
to
you fallen asleep
most
to?
of your heroes' movies.
What did you say?
Welcome to most of your heroes' movies.
This is true.
They just dude, they didn't even show the nuclear bomb explode. Like there are YouTube videos of simulations of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and the movie didn't actually show the bomb.
Yeah,
with
those
CGI.
obviously intentional to not do it.
But I'm like that dude. Like I was in freaking high school watching simulations of that, and that's how I understood. Oh, like we really, we launching a bomb in Japan was crazy. Like the fact that they didn't even show that to me was just like, I don't know. It took a lot away from the impact of the movie.
I think
What happened to
Doug
Dougie?
I don't know if he uses his phone to stream.
No, here he is.
Pulled to Chris Patel.
There we go.
Happens
All
to
right.
the best of us.
Where's Hot Chris?
He hasn't texted you?
I think Chris. I'm not going to say that. Hold on.
Are there any
Yeah.
new movies coming out that are worth watching?
Amit, you know that he had to go 15 rounds with his producers and the money behind the movie to not put in like a detonation sequence.
Really? Who didn't want that? Nolan or the other guy?
Nolan didn't want it. Like
Nolan's a dumbass for that.
I guarantee you the money behind the movie wanted that. And they thought they were getting it when they invested in it to start off with.
But why would Nolan not want to show? That's how you convey how serious it was to kill 100,000 people. Oh, that was stupid, bro. That was such a stupid. And also, the movie was too long, bro. Like if you're gonna make a long movie, like you got to make every scene count. Like it was getting ridiculous.
Welcome to, I don't know, 20 somethings that editors don't exist anymore. You know what happened to Mitt is you have come of age to become an adult and start trying to appreciate movies after the DVD and the VHS have died. Because back in the day, you had to have your movie be like an hour 45, 2 hours max, because it had to fit on a VHS. It had to. And now you can make a 2 hour and 17-minute movie, no problem.
Remember when Laserdisc became a thing?
I remember it becoming a thing and saying, oh, wow, those rich people can afford all that, and I can't.
And then they disappeared.
Yeah, I was thinking about that the other day. Like how awesome the first Blu-ray disc. Like I remember, I think watching some car movie. I don't know if it was Gone 6 Seconds or Fast and Furious, but I was watching it and I was like, my mind was exploding. Just how high quality the Blu-ray was comparatively to normal.
I do think Gone 60 Seconds is Nicolas Cage's best movie.
Yeah, me too.
Steven.
Oh, wow, Mitt. Somebody actually said Interstellar, only movie I read it wrong. Okay. I thought this person said that I regret seeing in the movies. He said not seeing.
I agree, dude. I've seen Interstellar like 5 times. I wish I saw it in the movies. I mean, that was one of the best films of all time. Like this is why when you guys mock my movie, like I don't like. There's not that many movies that can be good movies, and I've seen the best ones. And the fact that you guys act like they're not the timeless classics that they are, like I don't. Interstellar is one of the top 5 movies of all time. I don't need to watch all the other shit you guys talk about every Friday. Like, no, you don't.
It's good, but it's not top 5. It's not even close.
Dude, it is top 5. Like, don't like. I can understand you saying Inception is not top 5. I'll give you. I can understand Dark Knight. I can understand Wolf of Wall Street. Interstellar is up there.
Interstellar is one of my favorite movies, certainly of the last decade, but it is not a top 5 movie.
It's at least top 10.
No.
Okay, see that you don't understand movies, Doug. Like I don't know what to tell you. Like,
But
the fuck are you
admit,
saying?
in all seriousness, I'm willing to bet Dougie has seen hundreds of movies.
Yeah, none of them are as good as Interstellar, or at least 9 of them are. But to not leave it in the top 10, like, what are you saying? Like, I can't take you seriously, bro. Like, I'm sorry.
Hey,
like, I just
do
can't.
you remember? And I know Steve's another Gen X guy. Do you remember when it used to be the guys and gals that really, really liked movies actually worked in the video stores because that let them watch movies all the time?
Yep. Oh my God, you worked in a video store?
Yep, because I got free rentals and could watch movies all day.
Wow.
So you watched all those random ass movies in movie store, and you still can't tell Interstellar is a top 5 movie. That's even worse, to be honest.
I told you it's good. I love Interstellar. It's a fantastic movie. It's not anywhere near the top 5.
Where do you put the High School Musical series?
Probably with like Bambi 3.
Look, I'm not
direct video Disney.
Look, High School Musical is my top 5. I'm not saying the objective top 5, but Interstellar is an objective top 5.
No, it's not. It's
an
amazing movie, but it's not.
Name 5 movies better than Interstellar right now, off the top of your head.
Godfather.
No, let Doug do it.
Okay. Empire Strikes Back, Back to the Future, Rocky 4, Pulp Fiction, Casablanca.
Okay, Pulp Fiction and Back to the Future are not better. I'll give you the other 3, but those 2 are not better than Interstellar. Like, no, Back to the Future is not better.
Back to the Future is nearly a perfect film.
I agree, but so is Interstellar. And if we had to go like gun to the head. Which one is better? It's Interstellar. Like
Interstellar is it? This is one of those things where I'm telling you Interstellar is really good, but you're like telling me that I have to buy Apple, okay? And I'm like, no, I don't want to buy Apple.
It's not Apple.
It's a good company, but
no,
you're right. It's not Apple. It's more like Waste Management.
No, it's not. What are you saying? No, it's like Google, Amazon, or Meta. It's not freaking.
No,
is Waste Management not a great company?
Waste Management is a great company.
If we polled 1 million people, like somehow.
Yes, thank you, Imperium. I forgot Jurassic Park. I can't believe I left that off the list.
Jurassic Park is not better than neither is Back to the Future.
Oh,
dude.
by far. And When Harry Met Sally. Yes, thank you.
Okay, hold on. You're not saying When Harry Met Sally is better than Interstellar. There's no way in hell. I actually watched that with Matthew McConaughey. I watched that. It is no way in hell.
You think Matthew McConaughey is in When Harry Met Sally?
Yes. That's I watched it on Netflix like a week ago, or not a week ago, like a year ago.
You're getting your movies mixed up.
What fucking movie did I watch then?
I don't know, but it wasn't When Harry Met Sally.
Dude, it was fucking the fuck. What love movie was he? It was some chick flick that I watched with fucking.
Thank you, Saving Private Ryan. There's another one that's way better than.
Hold on, now I got to figure out what movie I watched with Matthew McConaughey.
So I have a lot of movies that
I'll tell you, Interstellar is better than Titanic.
Oh, 100%.
It is better than Titanic. Oh, sorry. I was talking about How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. I thought
those are two fundamentally very different movies. One of those is rom-com trash. The other is American cinema.
You know why? Because Netflix. I remember Netflix had them in the rom-com section together. So that's kind of
so. I'm going to give you some masterpiece movies. Okay. And now they may be difficult to sit down and watch nowadays, but they're straight up masterpieces that are night and day better than Interstellar. I already said Godfather. The next one's Braveheart. Yes. Braveheart is a masterpiece movie.
Yes.
Okay. Straight up fucking masterpiece. Black Hawk Down is a fucking phenomenal movie. Arguably the best war movie
that one too.
There is. Lord of the Rings, better than fucking Interstellar. Masterpiece movie.
100%.
Masterpiece. Gladiator is a masterpiece movie.
Ooh, Austin's got a good one there too.
What did he say?
Few Good Men.
A Few Good Men is a masterpiece movie. I will say that also. Empire Strike Back is a masterpiece movie. And then Goodfellas is a masterpiece. And then you start going into, I will say, I agree with Dougie. Rocky IV is freaking amazing. And then you start getting into other ones that are just have to see type movies where you have to see Casino. You have to see Friday Night Lights. You have to see Remember the Titans. Like Remember the Titans.
Yes. Oh my gosh, what a classic film.
Is arguably the best sports movie of all time. And you can make an argument that it's Friday Night Lights. You can make
Rudy wants a bit of that noise too.
Rudy's a great movie, but it's
I don't agree with it, but I think a lot of people would say Rudy.
I think a lot of people because of the story and what it represents, but it's not on the same level as Friday Night Lights or freaking Remember the Titans. And the reason Friday Night Lights is so good is because they don't win in the end. That's like one of the best parts about it.
Oh,
you know the
off my list. Shawshank and freaking Terminator 2.
You know the problem with going to a buffet?
Don't take me to a buffet.
There's too many options at a buffet. So you don't ever really feel full or you feel like you overate. You guys have watched too many movies. And that's why you can't actually settle down on a list.
Have you seen The Princess Bride?
Of course.
Amazing movie.
Amazing film.
Amazing.
In
all seriousness,
it comes up in my mind like 3 times a week when Amit's trying to use a word, and I'm like, I don't think that word means what you think it means.
Amit, have you ever seen The Princess Bride?
No, but I've seen enough movies to know what's good and what's bad.
Strongly suggest you see it. I actually really think you'll like it.
I really think you guys have watched too many movies, dude. I really do. Like,
I mean, I'm with you. Listen, The Big Slow, I am with you. I'm so glad you're part of the Milk Gang because Lethal Weapon is hands fucking down a better Christmas movie than Die Hard. I'm with you.
okay, but the best Christmas movie
Jingle All
we
the
can
Way.
all dude, Jingle All the Way actually is a phenomenal movie. I would put that up there.
What were you going to say though, Annette?
I think it's honestly, I think it's Home Alone 2. I really do. I think it has to
Dude,
be.
Home Alone 2 over
Alone
Home
2?
Alone? What are you doing?
Yeah, first of all, Home Alone 2 is in New York. Okay.
So what?
Oh my god.
Second of all, it's more Christmassy in New York. It's way more Christmas. Dude, he's in a hotel
my
by
God.
himself. You're telling me that's
The only
what are you
good
talking
thing about Home Alone 2 is the goddamn ice cream sundae.
No, it's the pizza, it's the pranks, it's the
Hey,
hotel.
Amit, is
like-
Annie a top 10 movie?
No.
It was set in New York.
I would say
just-
Annie is an underrated movie, though.
Oh,
I'm saying-
yeah, absolutely.
Christmas in New York is special, bro. Like, very special.
I mean, I wouldn't put Annie
There's
in
the
my
guy
top
who's
10,
never
but it's
done
underrated.
anything anywhere else.
I'm shocked you even said that.
Yes. Dougie and Steven could absolutely hang out for a weekend and just watch movies the entire weekend.
Oh yeah. I mean, like I'll start going down 80s movies like Brat Pack. To me, the best Brat Pack movie is St. Elmo's Fire. It's not The Breakfast Club.
You know, for all the reasons I can't explain, I've never accidentally even watched St. Elmo's Fire. Like, I know it's out there. It's just
Wow.
one I've not watched.
If you like those 80s movies, it's really good.
I need to.
Really good.
Where do you put Predator, Steve?
Michelle, yes, I told you. I'm on episode 12.
I don't think Predator's as good as what people make it out to be. I just don't. Like the beginning's awesome with Dylan and freaking Apollo Creed, who's Dylan. I get it, but I don't
Yes.
know.
I agree for the same. I agree for this reason, Steve. I agree with your take here. And I'm going to give you another movie that gives me the same sense. And tell me if you agree with this take.
Okay.
It feels like From Dusk Till Dawn.
Yes.
Where you're
Overrated
watching one movie
Yes.
and then something happens and you're watching an entirely different movie.
I'll give you another one. Desperado. Like there was so much hype around it, yet it didn't live up to the hype. Not saying it's a bad movie, it just didn't live up to the hype.
Right. I love Dusk Till Dawn. It's just like I wish I had been able to watch the full movie of either of those movies, and you get two half movies instead of one whole one.
I mean, there's
Yeah,
so
Reservoir
many good
Dogs.
movies. I'll give you
Event
another.
Horizon. Event Horizon. Oh my god.
Rain Man is overrated, by the way.
You know a movie, actually?
Red
Beautiful
Dawn.
Mind.
Beautiful Mind. Great movie.
Good
Great
movie.
Blew my mind. Maybe I'm just a Russell Crowe fan, but
No, it's a
Gladiator.
good movie. You know, American
Hunt for
History.
Red October.
Hunt for
Or
Red- yeah,
or Crimson Tide.
Crimson Tide's a great fucking movie.
I tried to get this one to watch that, and he hasn't yet.
And I
I
will
think
say,
you would like that because of Denzel and Hackman alone.
this is a movie that's newer. American Gangster is a masterpiece fucking crime movie. Fucking masterpiece.
It's excellent.
Boogie Nights is a masterpiece movie.
That one has not aged that well for me. Boogie Nights.
Let's
I
see.
saw it in the theater. It was a little uncomfortable because the whole video store group actually went together to go watch that movie, and it was a little uncomfortable.
That's not something I could go see in the theaters, but it's a fucking great movie.
Yeah, so you can see why it felt a little uncomfortable.
Oh, that it would definitely be uncomfortable watching it in a movie theater. How about this? 300. I'm not going to say masterpiece, but excellent fucking movie.
I liked it better before they gave him DC Comics.
And I may feel that way because it's the first movie I ever saw in IMAX.
Oh, wow, that had to be mind-blowing.
Yeah, I drove an hour and 10 minutes to go see it in IMAX. It was incredible.
George Orchestra, I mean, look at my background. I obviously have a soft spot for October Sky.
There's so many good movies out there. Amit needs to watch more movies.
No, you guys need to watch less movies, dude. Like, you guys are too obsessed with all these different movies.
Unwatch a movie. Like,
Right.
and that's the amazing thing is we have a shared experience.
okay.
We did it at different times in different places, but we have a shared experience.
I think you have seen this. Now, Amit, I know you have not, and Matt, you may have. Clear and Present Danger.
Yes. I mean, I read the book probably 3 times before I saw the movie. But...
You were a Clancy guy?
Oh, yeah.
Dude, Without Remorse is one of my favorite books of all time that he's written.
Fantastic.
Fan-fucking-tastic, and Amazon butchered it.
I got to tell you, though, I was not the biggest fan of the switch to Harrison Ford. I thought that...
Really?
I thought that...
you didn't like him in the
Patriot? The original Jack Ryan nailed it. He nailed Jack Ryan, and I didn't see Harrison. I mean, Harrison Ford was the bigger star. Sure, they sold more tickets, but yeah,
you didn't like Patriot
when
games?
They came from Hunt for Red October, I didn't like it.
Wow, I thought he was phenomenal in Clear and Present Danger and Patriot games and Air Force One. I really did.
Yeah, but Air Force One is not a Clancy movie.
No, but it's same.
It might as well have been though, because I mean that is what eventually happens to Jack Ryan. But
let me ask you this: did you keep up with the reading? Did you end up reading Vince Flynn by any chance?
I read quite a bit of Vince Flynn. Arlington Road, yes, that was a fantastic movie.
Dude, Vince Flynn is one of my favorite authors of all time.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Amazing. Died way too early.
Yep.
What about Balducci?
Is he the guy who did the what's the guy's name? The detective in Los Angeles?
Yeah, John starts with a P. Yes. Or he does a detective series. But dude, freaking David Balducci is a phenomenal author also. Yeah, but then we get movies like Bloodsport. I'm all in on Bloodsport. All in on that. Oh, somebody just said in the chat, Leon the Professional. We're going to say masterpiece.
Excellent film. I mean, The Matrix was amazing. Like my friends and I went and saw that like 4 times the week it came out. Requiem for a Dream was a great movie, but you only need to see that one once in your whole life. That's like American History X. Amazing movie. But
how about
not need to watch that more than once in your life?
How about True Romance?
Everybody told me that was an amazing movie, and I watched it, and I was like,
really? I'm surprised. I'm surprised. Okay.
Yeah, Fight Club's amazing, amazing film. Saw that in the theater.
Point Break,
great movie.
God level movie.
Fun more than great, right? Point Break, fun more than great.
Utah, get me too.
Reservoir Dogs and other movies, like you can only watch that once. Okay, Vanilla Sky is not as good as the original. Oh, I'm going to butcher the Spanish, Open los Obres or something like that, which means open your eyes. I don't know where the term Vanilla Sky came from. But yeah, the original Spanish dubbed to English, watch that instead of Vanilla Sky. It's better.
Man, now I just want to make a list of stuff that I should watch over the next couple of weeks.
True Lies. That is a super entertaining, fun movie.
Entertaining, yes.
I would say it's a good end-to-end movie. It's not the best movie, but good movie.
How about Troy?
That movie was a little full of itself.
Wow. Surprised.
It thought Apocalypto was better than I thought it was going to be. Mission Impossible. Every other Mission Impossible is pretty good.
Okay, guys, I'm going to bed.
Watch a movie.
Love you.
Literally watch K-pop.
No, I'm going to not mess my mind up with all these films. Like, I think you guys are kind of
Watch
crazy.
K-pop Demon Hunters. It's current. It's the thing right now, and it's 90 minutes. And if you're not into it in the first 15 minutes, you can turn it off.
Hold on. Amit, did you see Catch Me If You Can?
Yes.
Okay, thank God.
But see, that's one of 10 movies I've watched. Like, that's why it's fresh in my mind. I can speak about it.
One of 10
I don't
movies.
have a billion movies I can start naming off. Like, that's not I think productive at that point.
You got to remember, Doug and I grew up in an era where you didn't have the internet.
Okay.
There was no such thing as a tablet. There was no cell phones.
There were 3 channels on television or 4 channels on television.
I'm just saying.
Legitimately.
And you couldn't binge watch a show either because they weren't out on VHS, they weren't out on DVD. Like if you missed an episode, you missed an episode forever.
Like, how crazy is it thinking about going back? Like, legitimately forever. Like, cable TV came out when, in the 80s?
Yeah. Yes, we are that old. Had ABC, NBC, CBS, PBS.
I mean, by the way, I grew up like that. I mean, like, we didn't have recorded TV and the internet until like 2011, 2012 in my house. Like, I was watching.
Okay, so you
TV
were
channels.
You were what?
I was like 14, 15 years old.
14?
Yeah.
Better than me?
But like, I grew up watching TV channels too. Like, it's not like we had.
Yeah, but my
YouTube.
brother and I used to wrestle over who could get their hand on the knob to turn the channel.
So
Steve
me
knows
and my
what I'm
sister,
talking about. Steve knows what I'm talking about.
my
There was no
sister and I
fighting over
argued over the remote,
We had
but
to
not
wrestle
that.
at the TV.
Yeah, it wasn't that intense.
Yeah, there was no such thing as remotes. There was on the TV, and then there was that cord with that box with the buttons you had to fucking press.
Oh yeah, there was the cable box that had its own tuner on it.
Yeah.
But my dad didn't pay for that till.
And then remember when 6-foot satellite dishes became a thing in people's backyards?
God, yes.
Like crazy. I'll never forget. I went up to my aunt and her ex-husband's anniversary, and they had this big party at the firehouse, and it was upstate, and they had a fucking hot box at the firehouse, and I saw Comedy Central for the first time when I was like 8. It was crazy.
I love you, mate. Get some sleep, buddy.
All right, I'm out.
You got a big
Later,
job
man.
tomorrow, Amit. The entire market is on your shoulders.
Your shoulders.
All of our portfolios are riding on how you in particular are going to spin Nvidia's earnings tomorrow morning. No pressure.
No pressure, buddy.
Dude, Jensen's gonna deliver. I think Jensen delivers. I just don't know if the market.
Billions of dollars of
Okay.
retail money is waiting to see
Listen,
what more
Amit,
take is tomorrow.
no pressure, but tomorrow your post on X may be the most important post on X that you post in 6 months.
I mean, I'm gonna be live with.
Shrugged.
What do you say?
Amit shrugged.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna
Did
be
you
live
read
with.
Ayn Rand?
I'm gonna be live with Tanner, Jose, and Neil. So it's funny because Nvidia goes down, everyone's just gonna be blaming us. We're just gonna be looking at the stock go
I
up
will.
or down. So it's
I will.
but
I will be there. I will be there to shit talk you the whole way. Don't worry.
it'll be a good quarter. I'm not afraid
Did you read Ayn Rand in high school or college?
parts of it. Yes.
Parts of it.
Look, I think it'll be a good quarter. I just don't know if the macro is enough to like okay, if you have to like Nvidia 200 tomorrow, probably not. I mean, they would have to blow it out of the park in such a way that it's undeniable. But Nvidia 194, 195, yeah, I think it's possible. Realistically, I think in the 180s, it would be great if it just stays there.
Shit, I'll be happy if it just does 185 to 190.
Me too. Me too.
I'll be ever happy it does 185 to 185 tomorrow. Honestly,
Me
Right.
too.
I mean, just don't go to 150.
Yes, that's it. 100%. Agreed.
I mean, I have about maybe 4% of my port left in cash to buy dips.
Well, if it goes to 150, I don't even think it's going to be a buy the dip. It's going to, well, obviously it's a buy the dip, but people are going to be so scared that Nvidia lost its moving average after 4 months. Like that's where people, that's where you get a lot of questions. And also, why? Why would it go down to 150? Like, what could they possibly say that's so bad,
Yeah. What will the multiple be, though, if it goes down that low? Like,
I think it gets to like 26 times forward earnings, 25, 26 times.
I mean, it's already trading at 23 and a half times 2027.
No, it's at 28 times 2027. Oh, well, it went down
No, it's
technically.
not.
Yeah, because it went down the past couple days. Yeah, you're right.
Keep in mind, when I say 2027, I'm talking about their actual 2027, not the year before, the way that they have it on the books, because they report in January. I look on a year back because 11 out of the 12 months are in the previous year. So like this is their 26th fiscal year, but to me, this is really 2025 because 11 of the months is in 2025.
Yeah. It's a big one. We'll be live. It'll be important.
All right, go get your sleep. We need you nice and fresh tomorrow.
yes.
All right. Talk to you guys later.
One more thing before you go, while I have you live. You do understand that market performance has moved inversely to your beard, right?
Yeah, dude. People are mad at my hat. They're mad at my beard. They're mad at like everything. And I'm just like that. That's how I know people are upset. Like they're blaming my beard growing for the fucking crash.
I'm just saying.
I'm just
we can draw the chart.
It looks good,
Okay.
buddy. Keep it going.
But if I actually shave it and the market goes up, I'll never be able. That's why I can't shave it because then like it's like a Saratoga thing. I can't fucking ever drink nice water again.
Would you do it for the market to go up though?
No, we would have to do it. Robin would have to go to like $85 for me to be like, fuck it, I'm shaving my beard. Like it has to be that bad.
Wait, what happened with good water? What did you say?
Saratoga.
Oh, like I can't. I drank Saratoga water one day on the stream, and then the market was down like 2%, and everyone was
What
like,
the fuck is Saratoga water?
Hey, how high is the market since then? That's all I'm saying.
It's up a lot. It's like a fancy water, Steve. It's like a spring water or some shit.
It's from New York. You don't recognize it?
Yeah, I know where Saratoga is. I've never heard of Saratoga water.
There's this influencer.
I gotta text you. So I gotta text you something because you live near a certain grocery store, I think. So I gotta text you. They have a really good thing that you probably not have tried. So anyway.
Okay. Yeah, let me know. But there's this influencer who like started washing his face with Saratoga water, and it went so viral. And so I bought it one day. I was like, I don't want to see what this water is about. So I drank it on stream. And the next thing you know, market's down 2%. Everyone's fucking upset. They're like, dude, you got fancy. You started drinking this fancy water. I'm like, all right, I'll stop drinking it. The next day, bro, it rebounds like bright green. And now I can't drink that water. So if I do that with my beard, I can never grow a beard again.
Nelly, that's a hell of a bet right there. So got to figure out a bet to put on with a mitt where, you know, he either gets to keep his beard or he has to watch Steve's favorite 20 movies. Like actually watch them.
20
like
movies.
Clockwork Orange style.
20 movies feels like a lifetime, bro.
We'll cut it down to 10.
Maybe in half of one.
Like
Let's do
peel
that
the
first.
eyelids up, submit, so he has to watch it, and take away the phone. But put it like just out of reach of his hand, so he can see the notifications going off, but he can't actually find out what they are. I don't know. We love you, bro.
All right, I'm out. Love you guys. Talk later.
Your tweets matter, Amit.
All right. See you later. Good night.
Later.
Yeah, Clockwork Orange style. See, he hasn't watched a movie. He doesn't know what that's referenced to.
I mean,
Shared cultural knowledge.
I do
That's what
think he
art
would
is.
really like The Princess Bride. I really think he'd like it. That's like up his alley.
Yeah. I'm trying to tell him, watch the new hot #1 movie in the world. But I can't even get Michelle to watch it. So, I mean, what? That chance I could get Amit to watch it.
He's not going to watch anything. Well, we'll see.
Alpha Female, sorry, you were right on the last one, but Don't Look Up was not that good. I thought it was going to be really bad, and it was only mildly bad, so it exceeded expectations, but that doesn't mean it was good.
Steve, tell us a story.
Story about what?
Anything, man.
What's
it like to be like you?
A little mad right now. Like, I typed in...
Why are you mad, Steven?
10 masterpiece movies. You ready for this list?
It's probably all the same ones Amit wrote.
Casablanca is number 10. We need to stop putting Casablanca on these fucking lists.
You just did.
No, I didn't.
You looked it up.
Yeah.
It's absolutely a top 10 movie for me.
No, it's not. Last of the Mohicans is not a top 10 movie.
No.
The Matrix, I'll give it to you. Braveheart, I'll give it to you. Pulp Fiction, I'll give it to you. Gladiator, I'll give it to you. Shawshank, it's not my cup of tea, but I can understand why people like it. Godfather. And then I don't know how you're allowed to put Lord of the Rings trilogy, but okay. And then the number one, Lawrence of Arabia.
No. That person is disqualified. Nope.
Disqualified.
Nope.
Disqualified.
Nope. You do not get to put a 5-hour movie as the best movie ever made.
Steven, the rebuttal?
But there is no rebuttal. I agree 100%.
No,
I'm going there.
Lawrence of Arabia is like the middest. Yeah, Kingdom of Heaven is better than Lawrence of Arabia.
Dude, Kingdom of Heaven is an underrated fucking movie.
Edward Norton's an underrated actor.
Yes, he is. I got a good martial art movie that's fucking fire that people sleep on. Hero. That was so fucking good. With Jet Li. Ip Man's incredible.
I can't tell you about Ip Man 5, but Ip Man was fantastic.
Ip Man was incredible.
Bad Boys 2.
Fucking phenomenal. I don't know which one's better. That could be better than one. That's one of those that's like, all right, Dougie and Matt. Lethal Weapon 2 or Lethal Weapon 1? Which one's better? It's actually a hard question.
I think it's two. Like, one's obviously you got to work real hard for me to grant you 2 over 1. Like, Star Wars is an amazing film. Empire is just better, but it doesn't work without the context it gets from 1, right? Rocky 4, amazing film, but it doesn't win without the context of the first 3 movies, right? You can't just like plop someone in front of Rocky 4. They're going to be like, what am I watching?
Correct.
Right? So, yeah, but sometimes the sequel they've like figured it out and they knew how to leave on the cutting room floor all the stuff that didn't have to be there. So the pacing is just that much better. But I mean, Gibson is great and Danny Glover is fantastic. I would love to see more Danny Glover in the world, but
You never loved me.
Oh my God. Time Magazine, you should go out of business. Huh. I just typed in sequels that were better than the originals. Like, I have to share this because people will think that I'm fucking making this up. From Time Magazine. Okay.
No. I've already seen the faces. No. Dune 2 was better than Dune. True.
There are no John Wicks that were better than John Wick 1. Sorry.
Makes me want to Chevelle really bad.
This is what made me flip out. I'm sorry. Maverick was not better than Top Gun.
Nope.
Maverick was good though, but not.
It was
better than Top Gun.
incredible. It wasn't
Maverick
good. It was
saved
incredible.
Hollywood. Nope.
Didn't see
Nope.
that Mission Impossible.
Nope. Paddington 2. I've actually heard that. Not that I would have even seen the first one. Logan
Never
was
saw
excellent,
Logan.
but that's not a sequel.
Fury Road was okay. Wasn't the best movie.
Winter Soldier is far better than the first Captain America for sure.
I would agree. I liked Winter Soldier a lot. I don't even know what Before Midnight is.
Fast Five. I don't know. Those are all
Fast Five over the original though.
Like over the original?
The original was like standalone classic.
Like so good.
Double clutching. Wait, granny shifting? Not double clutching like you should, Steven.
And I'll say 6 could be better than 5. So I don't know.
Dude, I should get a Supra.
Toy Story 2. Amazingly enough, I do agree with that. Yeah, Dark Knight better than Batman Begins.
Batman Begins is so good, but Dark Knight is better.
Hellboy?
Nope.
Do not do this. How dare they?
Nope.
How dare they?
Nope. Hell no.
The first Bourne movie was so fucking good.
Steve, you're gonna be angry. I think I told you this in the past. I've never seen the Bourne movies.
Oh wow, you'll enjoy it, Matt.
You would
know, but my uncle loved them. He like.
Did you ever read the book, The Bourne Identity, Steve?
I read the first one.
Okay, so you know how different the movie actually is from the book.
Yeah,
Maybe
I
it's
don't
on
agree with this.
Paramount.
X-Men was a really good movie.
Yep.
This is no way. Two Towers was the worst one out of all of them.
Nope. Two Towers is the best.
Really? You think so?
Is Defiance good? I've never seen it. I'm just pulling up movies on Paramount.
Yeah, Two Towers should have won the Oscar, not.
This was great. I would agree with that.
Yep, 100% on that one.
Is Defiance good? No, the movie with
Silence of the Lambs was a sequel.
Okay.
Yeah, the first one was Misery, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, true. Superman 2. The Donner cut, yes. The theatrical cut, no.
What Christmas Vacation was the sequel to what? Which one?
Who knows?
There's so many of them.
Yeah. Yep, Wrath of Khan, way better than Star Trek the movie. Empire, yeah.
See, I'm saying no to this. 2 is not better than 1.
I think I agree.
I'll be your Huckleberry, Steve.
And I don't know how you can say the Bond movies are sequels or not. They're just the fucking Bond.
They're just a series, yeah.
They lost me a
Top Gun. Good selections in there. Ernest Goes to Jail. Yes, Ernest. Well, no, Ernest Goes to Camp is the best Ernest movie and still is.
Oh, Ernest Goes to Camp is hilarious.
Because eggs erroneous. That's all you need to know.
All right. I think I'm going to call it. I need to try to finish this article before I go to sleep.
Okay, but you still got to tell me when you're going to watch F1.
It's on my list for this weekend to do.
The one that just came out?
Yeah, it's on Prime. I checked.
I'd say it's worth it.
You'll really, really like it.
Yeah, I think I'm going to like it because I loved Rush and I love those movies. I have to go to my nephew's Taekwondo tournament this weekend. So,
you know what movie? Sorry to cut you off. The movie did not mention, which I think is absolutely phenomenal. The Martian.
Yes.
Martian was a good
excellent film.
Better than Interstellar.
Also, yes.
Don't. Thank God Amit was not here for that. Thank God. He would have nightmares for you saying that.
Limitless also is a good movie. I forgot about that one.
Limitless was good. Talladega Nights was good. I mean, then you got Wedding Crashers and fucking Old School. There's just so many movies.
Yeah. That little run of Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Good movie.
It's a hell of a rewatchable movie.
Moneyball.
Dude, I just pulled up Netflix and I just typed in Bourne because I haven't seen any of the Bourne. The Bourne, the last one, the 2016 one, is on Paramount or Prime, one of the two. But
Yeah, you gotta start with the first one.
Is that the one with can't think of any actors' names tonight.
There's just a lot of good movies that I need to watch.
You're thinking of the one with the guy from Jeremy, what's his name?
The guy from
Mayor of Kingstown. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's every Denzel movie is insane.
Denzel's awesome.
Because Denzel is that guy.
He is that fucking guy. All right. I gotta try to get this Kinder Morgan article done.
Kinder Morgan.
Can we get a little preview?
Yeah.
You got a little spice for us?
I'm only 1,400 words in. I like it. I'm a fan of Kinder Morgan. That's all I'm going to say. I got to finish the article.
1,400 words is like 1/3 of the common novel now that you buy on Audible. You know that, right?
Look, I try to put out research. So if I put an article out,
you do a great job.
I'm trying to put out like anywhere from 1,700 to 2,300 words.
I'm trying to give you some flowers, saying
I appreciate
how good of a
it.
writer you are.
I get annoyed when I see people put out articles of like 600-700 words. I'm like, what the fuck is that? It's a post, not even an article.
Yeah, I always feel like I'm scamming people.
I wouldn't even try it. I wouldn't even try it. So you
tomorrow is a big day, everyone.
Well, if nothing else, we have the uncertainty off of our back, and I think the market likes that one way or another.
Sounds good. I'm gonna go get some cookies. I'm gonna finish working and go sleep.
You're good people.
All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Tomorrow,
thanks for all the followers on our channel today too.
Live at some
you guys
point.
killed it.
Please go follow at Real Matt Money. Please go follow at Dougie Dallas. And go follow, what was the YouTube channel again? Austin what?
Austin Finds Alpha.
Austin Finds Alpha. Please go follow Austin Finds Alpha.
You guys rock.
So, see everyone tomorrow.
Thanks for having me, Steve.
Anytime.
This is 0.
Anytime. All right. Later, everyone.
All right. Later, everybody.